Hello and welcome to episode 118 of In PS We Trust, the PlayStation podcast. My name's Davey and joined with me, as always, is the fine one himself, Mr. Philip Hoy.
You alright, guys?
Yeah, pretty well, thanks.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry. Just a sec. My phone's ringing. Give me a sec. Hello? Okay. All right. I'll let them know. Sorry about that.
Sorry, mate. What was going on? What was the call?
The tar currents have finally stabilized. I just got a quick call about the tar currents because I'm always monitoring those at the moment.
Nice. So you can make sure that you can move around quite freely now. Not getting anything in the way.
Free to move.
Very
no
nice.
issues.
And what about yourself, Boy Wonder? How's it going, Spence? Doing all right?
Just confused, man. Bit confused.
Play Death Stranding.
But I've got at some point. There's so many games to play, but I'm okay, mate. I'm okay. Tell you what, it's like we were doing this just yesterday.
Wild, isn't it? Absolutely wild. 2 weeks on the bounce, listeners. We said we'd do it, and we deliver what we say most of the time. We're like DHL, you know, we're not 100%, but we're pretty good. We're not too bad. We're better than Yodel, and that's the way to think about it. So we're better than all those other podcasts, but maybe we might not be as fully consistent as some of the big boys out there. But listeners, you are tuned in to In PS We Trust, the PlayStation podcast. This episode, much like any other episode of the podcast, is an absolute juicer. We got stacks to go through today. We got the normal run of the show. We got a question to kick us off with. Then we're going to move it into what we've been playing, saddle over to the quick news, where we got 2 items each, as well as playing Truth or Lie, our little game that we're running at the moment. And then we're going to end with Ghost of Yoti. We're talking all through the state of play that came out a few weeks ago now. So it does feel like old news, and apologies for that, but it's something that we haven't discussed as a podcast yet. And I'm sure there's some of you in the audience that do want to hear our thoughts and how we're feeling about the game coming up to its release, which is only a few short months away. So with that said, guys, we got a question, which I actually saw on Twitter. And sometimes these questions can be like really perverse, which are generally the ones I prefer. This one isn't. This is a PlayStation themed one. It's almost like as if I saw it and thought this would kind of work with the podcast. I don't have to think about a question myself, and just chucked it in. And that's exactly what happened. So we got a setup here, right? This question. You're going on an adventure and you have to choose just 3 party members. Now, the party members in question are Kratos, Astro, Sackboy, Solid Snake, Ellie, Papa Rapper, or is that his name? Oh, no.
Parappa, bro. Parappa
oh,
the rapper.
Of course. I'm an absolute mong. Sora, Crash, Ezio, Spyro, Aloy, Ratchet, Cloud, Lara Croft, Sly Cooper, Leon, Abe, Dante, Daxter, and Nathan Drake. A who's who of PlayStation, if you will. Even if, when I look at Papa the Rapper written down, I can't read his name, which is something I didn't know about myself until now. So here we go. Something to develop on for the rest of 2025. So,
it happens to us all, mate. As soon as you're on a podcast and words are put in front of you, it's literally impossible to read everything as well as you can do outside of a podcast. The pressure just ramps up.
It's like when you share a screen, isn't it? When you share a screen in work and you got to type, and all of a sudden you just can't type.
Or your search history starts showing. And you go, oh, OnlyFans, shit. Quick, move off that, move off.
Well, we're quite glad now. You're quite safe from that in the UK now, that you've got to put your ID in to enter a porn site these days.
I wondered if we were going to talk about this today.
I mean, we could just saddle this off and just talk about the porn site instead if you want. But just as a quick aside, I have not put my ID in to watch porn. In fact, I haven't had an opportunity to watch porn.
Still using your dad's ID?
It's pretty mental though, isn't it, that we're at this point now where all these people who want to goon have got to put their ID in to be able to do it. I just find that mental, and I actually quite like that idea. So I think it's just funny that you know there's going to be a data hack, and then you're going to have all these people's faces out there, and what I'd hope is that it's tied to their ID so you can see what they've been searching, bro. That would be
jokes. It's definitely going to happen, man. Definitely going to happen. Because it's like emerging technology at the moment, right? So, of course, it's going to get hacked. It's going to get abused. You're going to have kids using their parents' ID. You're going to have people swapping IDs to be able to see these things. And there's going to be a hack, and it's just going to go, it's going to go tits up. And I can't wait. I'm there for it. Luckily, I've downloaded all the porn I need already, right? That's the trick. So just before that cutoff, the torrents were flying, boys. I got to tell you.
That's crazy. All that you need, is that like multiple videos or just one great one?
Yeah, a few terabytes. So we're going to get through it. Keep you going, right?
Now,
Jesus. It's times like this, right, where you need to have, I don't know if this is a dying breed now, but back in the day when we were drinking, you used to have an old man at the pub who would sell porn, who would just have it on DVDs, or would know some guy who would be able to get porn before the internet was like, a real thing to be able to go on and just watch porn in good quality. Everyone knew a guy who would just be able to just get these fucking absolutely German filth DVDs. And I wonder if that's gone. I wonder if it's time for that guy to come back. He's going to step out the shadows like Batman in The Dark Knight Returns, right? Where he's been away for a long time, and now the city calls for him. He's back, and he's there to sell seafood sticks and porn. Both going into the pubs, going around doing it.
My dad's still trading, mate. As I told you, I grew up as an entrepreneur. I came into schools with cigarettes. I came in with yo-yos. I came in with Pokemon cards. My dad's still dealing a bit of porn, a couple of DVDs. He can sort you out. What are you after?
There's things that I only have to tell in confidence. I need to make sure that your dad and me have like a doctor-patient relationship.
A blood bond.
Yeah,
that's what you need.
Yeah. I just come in, I got this slit down my hand where I've just done that with Jim.
And my dad's like, I just hurt myself. Just fell on a nail.
Yeah. You're covered in them, Jim. That one's so deep. It just means constantly blood bonding everyone.
The whole Caldecott. You've been marked.
Oh Christ! Yeah, you wouldn't get that out of me, mate. What I'd ask your dad for. But moving it back to the question at hand, then. So going on an adventure, choose 3 party members. Spence, going to come across to you first. What are you going for? Now, I will preface, we haven't stated what kind of adventure we're looking at.
Thank you. This is going to be my first question.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I don't know if you want to discuss that first and we kind of nail that down. What are you thinking, Spence?
I was going to say, do a bit of D&D for me, mate. Describe the journey, and I can choose my castmates.
Okay, I reckon this is it just says an adventure, right? So I would say that you got to set up for every kind of occasion here, rather than it being a specific thing. Because if it was specific and you were like, you're going to fight gods, you'd be like, oh, I need Kratos then. What the fuck's Astrobot going to do? But we don't know. We don't know. It could be anything thrown at you on your way. I'll put this out there, right? That you've got to go and reclaim an item from somewhere in the world, just in the current day-to-day that we're in now. So you got 3 people that you got to pick to go along with you on this journey. Anything could happen. Like, it could be you got to go to the Middle East. Next thing you know, you got terrorists in the way. Or it could just be a lovely destination. Like, you got to go to France and you got to go to Paris and go to the Eiffel Tower and look over it. Whoever you pick, you don't know what you're going to have, right? It's either going to be lovely or not. But how do you prepare for all kind of eventualities and get the best out of everything here with this ragtag group of adventurers?
Okay. I think if that's the adventure, I think there's simple answers. I think Nathan Drake, he's going to know how to find the item we need to find. Class, easy, and he's good at getting items, is pretty much all he does. It's literally his job description. Then Lara Croft is basically Nathan Drake, but I think she's you don't need her because you have Nathan Drake. So that's fine. I'd say, and then Dante and Kratos, just so I don't Kratos could take us there on his magic flying horse carriage thing. We're there in like 20 minutes. Quick adventure, back home, playing Apex. And they're strong as hell. Kratos and Dante, run into no trouble. It'd be fine.
Fair enough. The only downside to your plan is the destruction that both Kratos and Dante seem to cause no matter where they go, right? And I can't imagine it would be very easy getting someone like Kratos would stand out a bit of a sore thumb, wouldn't he? Like Dante, you'd just be like, yeah, he's just a bit of a goth, right? A quick look, very pretty goth, but you'd be like, well, they're a dime a dozen. Kratos, you'd be like, Jesus Christ, what the hell? Why is he carrying an axe through the center of so-and-so town on your way to wherever destination you got to go, right? He's tooled up to the nines and he would stand for no shit. So if you're having to go on public transport for a little bit, for whatever reason, I can't imagine he'd do well on a bus or crowded underground. I can't
You
imagine.
don't need to, mate. He's got his flying thing.
True. Yeah, true. Good point. Good point. You can kind of get around a lot of it. I don't know how Kratos would feel when like the radar pings are going off, and they're like, there's an unidentified aircraft in French airspace or wherever it is, and they like mobilize the like F-16s to go and intercept. I think it could start getting quite messy quite quickly, that mission.
Yeah, that's so true. I didn't think about anything like that. Maybe just fly low, bro. We just fly low.
Yeah, fly low, get under the radar.
Yeah. It'd be fine. We'd figure it out, mate. We'd figure it out.
Yeah, and with Nathan Drake on the team, you know that it's all going to work out in the end.
Yeah, he's lucky as hell.
Yeah.
If anything, though, I might die.
You might, yeah.
I might die, but the mission's getting done.
Yeah, it will get done.
Yeah.
That's very true. I like your picks, mate. What about yourself, Phil? Where are you going with this?
Well, Davey, I'm glad you asked. And I did a bit of thinking when I saw this Twitter post. And I was going back to my World of Warcraft days when I was constructing the perfect party. And all parties needs a DPS, needs a tank, and needs a healer. So these are the characters I chose. I chose Kratos for my combat powerhouse, okay? He's the tank/melee DPS. He's god tier strength, he's got mythical weapons, and he's an immense combat experience, okay? Every party needs a tank, and Kratos is unmatched in strength and resilience, and his brutality in close quarters and experience in facing mythical beasts and gods is unmatched. So that's my big sell for Kratos. I think he's a no-brainer for everybody's party, because he's going to carry you. Then I'm looking at DPS, and I'm going to go with Ratchet with Clank, if you'll allow me, okay? So he's my tech specialist, my range combat, okay? His strengths is the arsenal of high-tech weapons, gadgets, and of course Clank and his space abilities, okay? Why? He's versatile. He's got the range options, plus Ratchet and Clank provide technical expertise, transportation with their starship, and dimensional travel, as we saw in the last game. The last one got a bit tricky, I have to be honest, because I was looking for a healer. So this one's a bit of a reach. I've gone for Solid Snake, pretty much because he's probably one of my favorite characters on there, okay?
Yeah,
But he's got an added bonus of his stealth and his strategy, okay? But he also packs a bunch of ration packs, okay? So his strengths are the stealth kills and the real-world weaponry that he's used to. So it isn't just mythical blades of chaos or high-tech weapons with Clank. We've got some real-world weapons that Snake can use to his tactical advantage when he's out in the field, okay? Snake brings a finesse where Kratos just brings the brute force, and he can gather intel. Snake can go through enemy lines and eliminate threats silently. And of course, he can heal with his ration packs. So there's my little bit of a reach for a healer within my DPS and my tank. But I think that's a perfect trifecta if you're looking for 3 party members to join me on an adventure.
I do quite like the rationale for Snake, and I think it makes sense. Like if you got to go and sneak somewhere, it doesn't go wrong with Snake. Like it does when I play him, because I'm not perfect. I'm not him, right? I'm not Snake, but he will be fine because that's what he does. He
survives.
Yeah, he's a survivor.
I was gonna say Snake is actually a brilliant choice just because of his problem solving. If you think there's only one way to do something, he's like Kojima's mind. He's gonna know 12 other ways you can do it, and there'll always be an answer with Snake on your team. I think it's clever.
I think it's good. I think it's a good, solid team. And I think both of you have come up with good teams. My team's a little bit different. So my first one, of course, same as you guys, are not going to sugarcoat, is Kratos, right? Like,
but who's he going to pick?
We all just
Davey or Spence?
He's absolutely fucking cracked, isn't he? He's just busted. And if you need someone to just body everyone, nobody else on that team really. I mean, like Cloud's pretty powerful, so is Dante, but I mean, Kratos is just a whole other level above, isn't he? So you got to have him. But then from there, I think mine's different. So my second choice was Abe from Abe's Odyssey, right? And Abe's Exodus. And the reason for it is that he's got the ability to like mind control people and take over them. When he goes
for a very limited time.
Yeah, very limited. And also, they're not humans. Can he do it to humans?
I've never seen him do it to a human, but I don't know if there are humans in his world. But I imagine that he probably can. He's got like a couple of powers, but he could he could get us through. If we're in a situation where we got to get through passport control, it'd be like having a Jedi on the team.
I was about to say you want him to be like,
yeah, exactly. Abe, just like, Abe, do your thing. Kratos is like ready, pulling the blaze out, and you're like, oh, wait, Abe, you're up. Hi, 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 hi. And then you're in, all right? And that's where like Abe's specialty is there. He's useless the rest of the time, but when you need him to like be able to de-escalate a situation, he's your man for that because he can just take over and take control. And so he was my second choice. My third was actually going down the same line as Spencer's in terms of like needing somebody who can nick stuff, is good in a pinch. And Nathan Drake's based on the original, which is Lara Croft, right? Lara Croft does things with a little bit more finesse than Nathan Drake generally. You know, she's from money, so she's got loads of tools, loads of gadgets. I'm talking about more the old school trilogy here compared to the newer ones, which then kind of aped back on Uncharted. But the original ones, she could handle dinosaurs, mythical beasts. She was like knocking everything out, and she's fucking fit as hell. You know, if I get a chance to go around on an adventure with her, I highly doubt she's going to be too interested in Kratos. He's a bit too much for her. Abe, come on. You know, Abe's not getting anywhere near her, right?
Mate, even if she rejects you, you could be like, yo, Abe, sort me out.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
Just make sure he doesn't concentrate too long because they will explode. Because that's what happens in Age.
Oh, God.
Honestly.
Yeah,
So you're there with Lara Croft and he's humming a, and then you're humming a her, and she explodes right in front of you. So just make sure he's got that under control. He's got a timer on his watch.
Yeah.
Also, aren't you just fucking Abe?
Well,
in a roundabout way.
In a roundabout way, yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
But, you know, it'll all work out. Hopefully, my natural charm will woo Lara Croft enough, right? And she'll realise that...
And if not, you've got a mind control guy on your team.
Exactly.
Just in case.
Backups, right? I got options. Plus, she's good in her own right, you know? It's like having Nathan Drake on the team, but you could also potentially bang. So, you know, that's where I'm going for my team, guys.
Fair.
Strong team, mate. Strong team. I like the lie about Abe at the start. I like the cover story at the start. That was good, mate.
I like that you all saw straight through it immediately. You know, it's not just for that. He does serve a purpose, but, you know, there's other purposes as well. You got to have backups for your backups, don't you? You know? And he could be the ultimate wingman, really, in any situation. Abe, the boy. But that's enough of that. Audience, I'd love to know your choices for your three. Write into the email, pswetrust@gmail.com, or hit us up on any of the socials, all of which are beneath the description for the show. And with that, we shall move it on to what we've been playing.
This time on NPS We Trust, what have the boys been playing?
So guys, it's been 2 weeks since our last podcast episode, and I'm desperate to know what you've been up to in that time. Actually, it's not even been 2 weeks. It's been a week exactly since the last podcast. What have you been up to, lads? Spence, going to come across to you first. Last time you were talking to us all about you were about 2/3 of the way through MGS2. Have you made any more progress, my friend?
Yeah, so I finished MGS2, or me and my friends have finished MGS2. Yeah.
Oh,
It's
not a great reaction, that one.
It was good. It was good. I liked it more than MGS1, but I think that's just because it controls a bit more fluidly. In terms of story, I don't really know. It's a bit weird. No, it is probably better than MGS1. I don't know how I feel about it, man. I just really don't know. I don't know.
There's a lot of pressure here for you to like it, Spence, so just speak from the heart and be truthful. We'll judge you, but you're among friends for now.
For now is the words. I think with MGS2, I think it would have been better for me had I played it on my own rather than with my friends. I think it's the kind of game where I would have obviously paid more attention to it and understood it a bit more. I think I do understand everything, but I don't know. I enjoyed it and I'd play it again. So it's definitely good, but
what did you think of the ending?
That's what my question was going to be too.
With the whole freaking AI weird stuff. My complaint still remains about freaking, what's her name? The girlfriend. The ending, I can't even really remember what happened now. Not even, I did understand it. Now I can't remember what happened.
So the ending, if I remember rightly, you
probably
fight Solidus on the top of the Washington like
Yeah,
monument
you
building
do, yeah. With swords.
with swords, which is sick. And the whole point of it is that it's all about the Patriots, right? The Patriots, the Lale
They're 12
Lule Lo.
people, yeah, and they're already dead. I do remember.
They're running the entire. They're running everything,
The
right?
Illuminati.
Yeah, and they're the ones. And then when you play Metal Gear Solid 3, you'll get more information on the Lale Lule Lo. Not everything you need, because then 4 gives you more.
Of course it is.
But yeah, it's all about the Patriots from here, mate. All about the Patriots.
Fair enough. That
Lale
makes
Lule
sense.
Lo.
That last boss fight I remember was fucking well annoying. And it's weird that you didn't use a sword throughout the whole game, and then at the very end they give him a sword and it becomes his whole personality forever.
Well, it's not become his whole personality forever. It's just that Kojima thought that everyone would like Raiden, and nobody did. They all hated Raiden, right? They were like, he looks like a little bitch.
Does.
He's a little
He sounds
pussy
like
boy.
a little bitch.
And his whole design for Raiden was supposed to be that Japanese people, right? They like effeminate men. They like men that are just pretty, right? And so he made him to, suit kind of Japanese sensibilities. But people like the rough, rugged hero in Snake, right? So it just didn't work. And so 4, where you've seen him with like a samurai sword and a full like exosuit and all that, killing loads and loads of Metal Gears like it's nothing, that was just because he was like, I'm going to make everyone fucking think Raiden's cool. And that's all that 4 does, is make Raiden cool. Because he's not cool. He's a little bitch, really. And he's like, I don't understand what's going on. And la, la, la.
Times have changed, really, haven't they?
They have.
Because I think if Metal Gear Solid 2 came out these days, I think Raiden would be so much more of a popular character, considering the way the world's been changing, if you like. And much more accepting this world now. I think back in the day when it came out, what was it? Early 2000s?
2002, wasn't it?
Something like that.
I think so.
Yeah, we didn't respect all that.
I don't know, because I played it now and I thought he was a little bitch. So I don't know.
Maybe that's just you, Sven.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Who's this gay boy?
He's pissing me off, mate. The whole time he's just like, I know what I'm doing. I did it in VR. It's like, mate, shut the fuck up. You have no idea. Did my fucking tits in. But I did very much enjoy the game. I think I will play it again on Vita whenever I get that, because I do want it. And that's when I'd play it, I think.
Yeah, I think it's one of those games, like, whereas with MGS1, you can get the story off the rip, right? I think the story's really well presented and it's straightforward, and the twist is obviously the les enfants terribles. But apart from that, it's all really clear cut. MGS2, I think multiple playthroughs you pick up more and more, right? And you pick up more and more of these things, and you notice, after having the kind of bombshell that everything you've gone through, it has felt quite similar to MGS1 in a lot of ways. And then realizing that, actually, that's by design to train the next Solid Snake, right? That's the whole purpose of all this. And it was set up by the Patriots to be able to train that person, to be able to get a new Solid Snake out there, right? And you just pick up on more and more of these things as it goes. So, and as we were saying on the last episode, there's just so many ways to be able to handle and tackle different things that are in your path.
Different situations, yeah.
That the game doesn't really get too old, especially as, like, depending on how well you played, you'll either have infinite ammo wig or you'll have stealth camouflage. And so depending on which way you've gone, you can then do other things, like you can level up your grip to level 3, which I didn't even know was a thing until
we didn't level that
Vita.
at all.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was even a thing. I didn't even know you could get level 2.
No.
Until I had it on Vita, and there's a trophy list for getting to level 3, and I was like, what? Well, how do you even do that? And it's just by doing pull-ups off the side.
How do you do pull-ups?
So, when you're hanging...
I'm learning about the game now, yeah, go on.
When you're hanging off,
yeah.
I think, I don't know what it is on PS2, or I don't know how you
PS3 we played on.
Okay, so probably the same as the I don't know. PS3 is always weird because they never liked using R2, L2 because of how shit the controller is. So it might be R1 and L1, or it might be the bottom 2. But whichever one you use to pull yourself back up.
When you're in first person view, it'll be the one that puts you on your tippy toes, right?
I don't know. I haven't played the PS3 version. I've only played the
That's
Vita
the
and PS2.
triggers, R2 and L2. So I imagine it'd be those.
Well, whichever one it is to pull yourself up when you're hanging off a ledge, it's context sensitive. So if you don't go all the way, you can just pull yourself up a little bit and it drains a load of your bar. And you just do those and you just do so many pull-ups and then you flip back over again, do a load more and you'll level up your grip so then it doesn't go down as quickly.
That's crazy.
There's loads of stuff, man. There's so much stuff in that game. And I think, I've replayed Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2 like fucking hundreds of times. I found a diary when I was a kid, but at my parents' house not that long ago, a few years back, and in there it said about how I was attempting European Extreme difficulty on MGS2, and then like there's like no entries about it again for ages, and then like a month later, finally beat European Extreme. Like it just kicked my ass for like months before I did it. And so I think you can just have a lot more fun with it. I think it's a game that definitely, in like a year or two, whenever the moment strikes you, or if you get it on the Vita, you'll have a great time replaying it through, and I think you'll enjoy it more and more.
Or if it gets remade.
Yeah.
Definitely.
If 3 is a success, then we're going to see 1, 2, and 4 and 5, aren't we?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, I'm glad, mate. You still sticking on the 8 out of 10?
Yeah, I think I am. But I think, like you've said, same as with MGS1, which has a 6 out of 10, there's room to grow. I think upon more revisits, the scores might increase. But with the one playthrough, those are the scores for 1 and 2.
Fair enough. Don't agree with your scoring, but still, both 10 out of 10s, in my opinion. And I'm sure same for yourself, Phil. But each their own,
horrible when people don't agree with you, isn't it?
It's just, yeah.
Damn. People
still,
with different opinions.
Yeah, I don't like them. I don't like it. I don't like it. I only like one opinion, and it's mine.
Yeah.
It's mine.
So, Phil, coming across to yourself, Death Stranding 2. You were 51 hours last time. How many are you in this time?
61. I've played another 10 hours in a week. So I've been playing a fair bit. And last episode, I talked quite a lot about the upgrades to my pickup off-roader. Okay, so this has become my go-to vehicle, and I'm sure it'll become yours as well, Davey, because it's great across all terrain. And has a bucket load of storage, and you can carry things flat. You can carry things in the cool, which is a little bit of a nod and a wink to some of the missions that I'm conducting these days. And you can upgrade it with a sticky gun and a heavy machine gun. Okay, so I've just completed a rescue mission where I have to storm a base of upgraded mules with armor and improved hand-to-hand combat weapons, and find a hostage and rescue said hostage. Okay. So what I did, armored up, put myself on my level 2 shotgun with the upgraded grenade launcher, which is way better than the bowler stun gun, which everybody seems to think is the best gun in the game. It's just not. I've used it. You get it from 5-starring a guy who lives out on an island. I won't give too much away. You'll definitely get to him. I think he's called the Inventor, if memory serves. But if you 5-star him, he'll give you. He's quite a funny character, actually, but I don't want to give away the twist. But the end weapon is the bowler stun gun, and everyone says it's the best one. Definitely not. It's the bowler gun, but it's like a one-shot kill. But you've still got to hit people with the bowler. So if they're behind any cover, it just doesn't work, and it gets wrapped around other things. So the shotgun's just way better. Okay, so I got my shotgun, my Tranks sniper rifle, and 2 heavy machine guns on my truck. Okay, so I took the truck back to one of the depots, took off the sticky gun, put another heavy machine gun on, and just rolled into this town. It was great. Got out a little bit early, picked a couple off with the sniper rifle. Of course, they got armor on, so you got to aim for the head, which was fun because a little bit of skill in it because the bullet drops if they're too far away. So it's a little bit more, realistic than just, aiming at them and shooting. There is a bit of drop off, as I said. Then got a little bit closer and then just laid waste with the truck, which felt amazing, even though it's auto fire. Not that much skill in that. Okay, you are just driving around and the 2 guns are just auto shooting everybody. And I thought, let's have a bit of fun. Jumped out with the shotgun level 2. It was hugely enjoyable. Rescued the person in question. Won't give away who he is, but I think he's pivotal to the whole story of Death Stranding 2. And I was always thinking with the pickup off-roader, there's 2 seats that's exposed at the front, because early when you get the pickup off-roader, you can use a handgun to shoot out of it. before you get the upgrade of the heavy machine gun. And I was thinking, is anyone ever going to sit next to me? Because it seems a strange choice to have 2 seats. That was the reason. He put him in the other seat. He didn't just put him in the back of the wagon, which I thought was a nice touch. So that's where I'm at the moment. It's quite an interesting area. We've just had kind of quite a bit of story with Tomorrow, so I know a lot more about her. I've defeated some androids or puppets. Again with the shotgun. They've got some interesting hand-to-hand combat weapons. I now have one of their hand-to-hand combat weapons, and it's fucking incredible. So make sure to collect those after you kill those robots. I've gone a little bit further, and I'm now delivering pizzas.
Nice. Okay. All right.
So quite a varied 10 hours, but very pivotal, I think, to the whole story, because Tomorrow and the person I rescued, I think, are huge characters to the bigger overarching story of Death Stranding 2. And there's a little bit of doubt as to why I'm connecting people now, as opposed to just blindly connecting things.
Ooh, so it's all heating up. It's all heating up.
It is.
Well, I said last episode that I'll be talking to you about Death Stranding 2, that I'll be able to join in on this conversation, and I can, albeit not very far, because I've only got 1 hour into Death Stranding 2,
Okay.
and let me tell you, it was mostly cutscenes.
Yes.
So I've not done much. The game opens in the same way that we've seen the trailers when the footage first being shown, where it opens in like the Mexican desert, and it's just the most fucking beautiful thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I was jaw on the floor for that entire thing, and I started playing it, and I think because I've just come off Death Stranding 1, I was like, I'm back here again. You know? I was like, it's exactly the same. And I'm like, that's fine. That's great. That's great. Yeah. But like, I've just done like 80 odd hours of Death Stranding 1. So I'm like, I'm not really that bothered right now. And I think it's just because I've just done so much. And what
fatigue, you're getting fatigued.
Yeah, it's proper fatigued.
Yeah. I'm fatigued like an hour in just because I've done it to myself, right? And I think, like I've always said before, and I think Spence, you're always guilty of saying this, like when you got like a sequel coming out, you're like, oh, I'll play through the original again, or I'll do that again. I'm not going to do it again. I'm not, because like going in, whereas I would have been like, oh yeah, this is like really hitting the juices, like right where, like taking me back. I've just done all this. So I'm going back in, I'm like, God, I miss not having my exosuit. God, I miss not having this. Oh God, okay, I got to watch this. And I'm early, super early in. So don't get me wrong. And this isn't, I'm not slating on the game in any way, shape or form. This is a me thing, right?
You better not. Considering what I've heard just off Spencer.
No, I'm certainly
I've got the leave button hovered with my mouse. I might leave this podcast. Goodbye, you. Goodbye, cruel world.
No, absolutely not. I think it's beautiful as hell, and I can already tell some of the gameplay quality of life things that are in, like straight from coming from number 1 into this. I can just already tell a number of them. And the first thing I did, go in, pick up baby Lou, shake him a little bit, see if that's all in there. It was. I was like, oh, thank God. Yeah, those lovely scenes right at the start, which I'm not going to go too deeply into. And then I'm on my way to go through my first like kind of mule camp and all that stuff. So I'm at the start of the game, right? It's beautiful. The reason why I haven't been playing it is because something has happened to the shake-up of this podcast, which has shook me to my core, right? The other night, me and Spence booted up, it's about 2 weeks ago, we booted up Apex Legends, right? Now, I love Apex. I've always loved Apex, and I've been trying to get Spencer to love Apex as much as I do for a long time, for years. And he never has, right? He's never been there with me on it. He's always been like, yeah, I'll play it with you, and I can see the depth, and I enjoy it when I play it, but I never really have any craving to play it. What's happened, Spence? Because something's changed, hasn't it? And all my time has been playing Apex lately. All of it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what it is. I think what it is isn't even Apex itself. I think it's the lack of us having a shooter for so long. Whereas now, because we've gone without Call of Duty this year, I'm desperate for a shooter, and Apex is right there. So I'm just balls deep in Apex at the minute, mate. If I wasn't, before the show, obviously we played some Apex earlier today, when you were supposed to be, but it was fine. After that, I played Balatro, and if I didn't get the run of my life that lasted about an hour, I would have been back on Apex. after that run. And I was gutted that Balatro went as well as it did because I wanted to play more Apex. I'm desperate to play more.
Yeah, so we got a season starting next week. The new season of Apex begins, and with that, we are going to see how far we can get on the ranked ladder. Because we always seem to do this. We play Apex, getting involved in ranked, and it's right at the end of a season. And so we do quite well, like we get into gold or maybe even early platinum, and we're like, oh, that's a shame. We couldn't get any further. Whereas this time we're like, we got a week. We got to get a third player lined up. Which I know, Phil, you're not going to be bothered. So we've already gone to Willard and said, do you want to play? We need to get our third in. Audience is open to yourselves, mind. If any of you want to play Apex with us, we're going to be...
Especially if you're good.
Yeah, we're going to be no-lifing it, I think, pretty much next season. Holler, let us know. I want us to get high diamond, man. The best I've ever got is like diamond 3 or diamond 4, like one of the lower levels of diamond. I want to get up there. I want to get right up there. I do. Like, I really do. And I feel like our team comp at the moment with either Newcastle, Octane, or friggin' oh my god, what's her name?
What? Bang?
Bangalore, yeah. Like with one of those 3 legends that I'm rolling at the moment, alongside either your Loba or who's the dude you're playing these days?
Revenant, mate. Revenant.
Yeah,
and Phil, mate. You should see the skin I just got for him today. He's like a mech, bro, like a yellow mech. It looks sick.
All right, have to send me a screenshot while I'm playing Death Stranding.
Yeah. So
and then playing Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, yeah, mate.
Real games for men.
So I'm definitely going to be
who
playing.
Love Kojima.
I'm definitely
love Kojima.
I'm definitely going to be playing Death Stranding 2, but I think I'm not going to be catching you up anytime soon, just because whenever Spence around, I want to play Apex. That's basically it. Like I'm so driven to it at the moment, and it's nice where you can feel yourself improve.
Yeah,
and you make a play, it just works, you know. And we've had a few of those lately, where we've had a few dubs where it's just worked perfectly, like where we've either just like shut down like 2 different lanes and just dragged them into one area, or just played it so well together, and you've been absolutely killing it, Spence. So that's what's taking me away from Death Stranding. I'm sure I'll be like tens of hours in on the next time that we speak about this in 2 weeks' time. But right now, I don't have too much to say because I'm just too far up Apex's arse. So it's like the summer of 2020 or whenever it first came out. When did it come out? Like 2017, 2018, something like that?
Must have been freaking... God, I
ages
think
ago,
it's going
right?
to be older than you think, mate.
I'm gonna guess 2017.
Actually, not as old as I thought. Do you want to chuck a guess in there anyway, Phil? What do you think?
2018 then. Let's play the game.
Beat Davey, mate. 2019.
Oof! Wow.
I thought it was going to be like 2016. That's crazy, 2019.
There you go. So it's like as if the summer of that all over again. Like I'm so deeply into it. Just absolutely love it. So
Good.
yeah,
That's good.
I'll be able to talk to you a bit more about it, Phil, in 2 weeks' time, I'm sure. Not Apex, Death Stranding.
I hope you don't. I really don't. I think this is a bit of a gift in disguise, because I can play it at my own pace now, not, hoping and cringing, thinking you're going to spoil something with the story, because I'm taking the game at snail's pace and I'm enjoying every aspect of this game, and I don't want to rush it just to get through the story before you.
Good.
So, brilliant. Play Apex all you like, mate.
Good.
Fuck off.
Thanks, mate. Well, I will. And on that note, we shall move it on to the quick news. Quick news.
Yeah, buddy. You've made it through to the quickety quick news.
I like that.
We are ready to roll with the best part of the show, arguably the best part of the show, where we've handpicked the latest and greatest from the PlayStation Nation to serve up to you in the form of 6 news articles. And to spice things up, we are going to be playing a truth or a lie. And I'm going to hand it over to Spencer first to give me his truth or a lie before introducing his quick news for discussion.
Okay. So my first statement. When I was a kid, I couldn't beat Hello Kitty Roller Rescue, so I smashed my sister's PS2 Slim. Quick news. Bit of a better one that time, eh? From Software are reportedly has another unannounced game in the advanced stages of development, which could be released as soon as next year. Ooh. I feel like FromSoft haven't stopped recently, you know? They're like the Insomniac at the minute, where everything just keeps getting pumped and pumped and pumped out. What do you guys think about this?
It's pretty wild, isn't it? You know, like you'd think at some point they'd take a rest. And now, granted, the studio are growing quite a lot. You know, there's been there was some Sony money injected into From Software, who now own a stake in the development studio, as well as the parent company Bandai Namco, which Sony have now bought a shed load of shares in as well. So that, coupled alongside their financial successes that they've been having lately with the likes of Elden Ring and then Night Rain, which sold, you know, millions of copies each, you can see how they could afford to be able to do another project. But it is still quite shocking, you know, that you've had a generation where they've had an Armored Core game come out, you've had and 2 different Elden Ring games, all in the space of 1 gen, and that's what, like 3 years? 3 or 4 years, and they've had 3 games out. Mental.
And a massive expansion.
Yes.
Thing for Elden Ring.
Of course. Yeah, of course. And then here we are, you know, last episode talking about how Naughty Dog can't even get 1 game out. Mental,
You
right?
were talking about that.
All right, yeah. Mental. I think it's really shocking. And I suppose the big thing is, what could it be? Is the big question, right? On everyone's lips. I tell you what, I don't want to see another Elden Ring based game. That's what I don't want. I'm not going to go into too deeply because I know you guys want to see your pieces, but I don't care. Night Rain, cool. I mean, I'm sure that we'll probably pick it up when it's like 15 quid or whatever, Spence, and give it a whirl. But I'm not that bothered. It was a great reveal when it was first shown. Playing it, I realized it's not really the Souls experience I'm looking for. I'm happy for them to leave Elden Ring and for either to do something new or go back to the well. One of those 2 options for me personally. But I've said enough, so I'll let you hand it over to Mr. Hoy, or take it yourself.
Of course, I'm going to hand it over, mate. What do you think? What do you think? I got anything to say? Fair enough, mate. I think, to be fair, I think I agree with you for the most part. But Phil, let us know, what do you think about it?
I love how you guys get so excited when there's a little rumbling from Soft. You're like, oh, we're getting another Souls game. Oh, can't wait. Well, I'm just looking at the Wikipedia, and obviously you had Sekiro in 2019. Then there was a little bit of a gap before they released Elden Ring, which was a mammoth of a game. So it's understandable why there was such a gap. Then after Elden Ring, rightly, as Davey said, we had Armored Core and Elden Ring, Night Rain, and their future project for the Nintendo Switch 2, which is the Dusk Bloods game. Okay, so that's coming out in 2026. So they have been pretty damn active. But, you know, what are they going to bring out next, right? It's all up for speculation. Are they going to go back to the well, like Davey says? Or are they going to start to alternate their titles now? So are they going to give you maybe another Sekiro game? Or are they going to give you an expansion, another offering of Armored Core? That might be a possibility. Night Rain went well. What about a multiplayer Armored Core game? Let's see it. Why not? If Night Rain did so well and it's making the money, why wouldn't you copy that model with one of your other IPs?
I mean, maybe. I'd be very surprised if it was Armored Core. I don't think it... How well does Armored Core sell?
That's quite well. More personal choice, your reaction there, Spence. But,
might be.
You know, take it over to Asia. That game's pretty damn popular.
Yeah, I've no idea about. I've always just ignored Armored Core as FromSoft make it. I've never associated the 2.
There was an article for that since the release in August, it managed to amass 3 million sales, and that was by the July. So reached 3 million. So it doesn't do shabby numbers. 3 million is pretty damn good across all platforms. That is. So that was
and
from
in Japan, it like tops all the charts.
Yeah, it's big out there
when it comes out,
and it's got a huge fan base, doesn't it? I mean, like, it's not for me. I don't really give 2 shits about Armored Core, but I can see that it is a storied IP, right? And it's got a diehard set of fans who are really into it. I like your idea, Phil. I do like your idea. I think for me, I'm just always stuck on just this fucking hope and a fucking prayer that it's going to be Bloodborne. I'm just stuck
on the other record, mate. I've heard this so many times before. We're on episode, what are we on now? 118. And the amount of times that you've brought that up, just put it to bed. It's not going to happen.
It's got to at some point, doesn't it? Like,
It
at
doesn't.
some point.
It doesn't.
I don't think it does.
No, it doesn't.
Oh,
I think it's more likely you're going to see another Armored Core before you see a Bloodborne.
I completely agree with you. Yeah, 100%. yeah, 100%. But it doesn't, like, if you think they got another project in the works and it's out next year, apparently it's out 2026, it can't be something that's taken all their development team like non-stop to do, right? To be that quick of a turnaround. So it's got to be something that's either, like you were saying, like a kind of spin-off of an existing project, like an Armored Core or a new Elden Ring kind of spin-off, or it's going back to what's already been laid down and freshening it up. That's where my sliver of hope, my little
reach.
It is fucking mega reach, dude.
Massive reach.
I can't reach up there, bro.
massive.
I can't reach.
Massive reach, bro. Yeah, so that's where my thought process is going. Just any chance that the Bloodborne returns in any form, I'm fucking all about it.
I was going to say, yeah, I think it's way more likely to be like Bloodborne Director's Cut.
Yeah, well, that's fine. Great.
Yeah, I'd buy it. Yeah.
Fucking
Great.
fresh.
But then the multi-platform throws me off, but I guess games just are, every game's kind of multi-platform now.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. Like Bloodborne coming out to PC and to like Xbox and stuff would be wild, and they don't own the IP. So it would be Sony doing that, which does seem like as if that's not the case. I mean, I wonder if it could be like a new Sekiro or Dark. I can't imagine it'd be like a Dark Souls 5 or whatever.
Dark Souls 4. I'd love for it to be Dark Souls 4.
Yeah, I can't see that being like something that's out so soon. I just can't see that being a reality. And I wonder if now that we've had Elden Ring and it's kind of what people would say is like the peak of FromSoft, which I don't agree with personally.
I don't agree with.
But a lot of people would say that in the same way that Zelda, like Breath of the Wild, is what they would say is that's the future of Zelda, right? Even though I don't agree with that either. I prefer older Zelda.
We're against all the popular choices.
No,
not a lot of them.
Yeah, a lot of them, to be fair, actually, yeah. Yeah, actually all of them, I think. Like we think about the game Kami mentioned, definitely not 4. It's my favorite.
Solid,
Metal Gear Solid, definitely not 3. Yeah, actually, yeah, maybe this is us, or me and by extension our podcast. Yeah, we don't say 2, we say 3.
No, 3. This is why we're friends.
Yeah, maybe this is us.
Found the right people. That's crazy.
Yeah, so it would be wild going back to like a Dark Souls and doing it in the same way that it was previously. And I think that, you know, there's been so many pretenders. I shouldn't say pretenders because they're all fucking amazing, right? But there's so many like Souls-like experiences that are taking that old Souls route and doing their own thing with it, and they're all hugely popular and they do very, very well. So there's no reason why FromSoft couldn't go back and just do Dark Souls again, do another Dark Souls in the way it always was. But I wonder if fans would look at it and be like, oh, well, it's not Elden Ring. You know, it doesn't have the openness of Elden Ring, and we miss that, you know? And fuck you if you're one of those people, right?
Well, I think fans of Elden Ring, though, would be fine with it, you know? Because it'd only be people who don't like FromSoft games saying that, I think.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe you're right.
I think it'd be fine. I think it will be fine. I couldn't tell you what I think this is. I have zero idea. I don't think it's an Armored Core spin-off, even though that honestly makes sense. I hope it's not anything more Elden Ring. I'm fucking done with Elden Ring. I've not gone back to play the original, because why would you? There's 2 other versions you can play. I've not had enough time away from it because it keeps fucking coming back. So I haven't wanted to revisit Elden Ring. I'd rather revisit any of Dark Souls instead. I hope it's nothing Elden Ring. I'd like it to be something new, but odds of that are slim as hell.
Watch this space, innit? Watch this space.
Watch this space, yeah. I'm sure we'll find out, but who knows? It might not even be true.
Yeah, for all we know.
No.
I think it's the thing, though, that if one of us comes out with like a crazy, when we're looking at the Game Awards and we're making our safe possible crazy bets, and someone says, oh, FromSoft release a new, blah, blah, blah. Like, at this point, I don't think we can go any more than like a possible. on that. Whereas, like, if someone had been like, oh, there's going to be an Elden Ring spin-off that's going to come out and it's going to be a multiplayer first, I'd be like, fuck, no way. All right, crazy on that. And then boom, shakalaka, Last Game Awards, there it was, right? Like, you just never know now. Like, it could be anything. But yeah, as you said, watch this space.
Watch this space. True. So moving on, Davey, round to yourself. Actually, give us your statement, your truth or your lie.
Okay. As a kid, I never wanted a PlayStation. I wanted Nintendo 64. Quick news. So the first bit of quick news I got for you today is a bit of sad news. And that is from Supermassive Games. So Supermassive Games, as for those that don't know, they make predominantly kind of choose your own adventure games, which are horror based, generally speaking. So they are famously, although what I love them for the most is Until Dawn, but they were doing a myriad of annual releases for different games, and then they seem to stop doing that, and they've taken a bit of a break, and they released at the end of the last one, which I can't remember what it was called now, but it was shit. It was terrible. It was one of the worst ones they'd ever done, where it was like a killer in a house, and it was bad. It was just bad. But the end of that game, they announced they were going to space, and that eventually.
I remember this conversation.
I remember this.
Fucking hell. Was it a shark in space, Davey?
It wasn't. Oh God, if it wasn't
No,
a shark,
it wasn't
in
a
space,
shark in space.
that would have been even better. But
That
no,
would have
they
been the
announced
dream.
they were going to space, and I was like, oh my God, this looks great, right? Even though I just played like 8 hours of fucking mid video game. In fact, just bad video game. It was terrible. I think I gave it like a 4 or something on the show. Like I really hated it. I was really bad on it. Like I hated it. All of it was just shit. But I was like, yo, that fucking trailer at the end though, they go to space. Well, I've been keeping a close eye on this, and it's been shown a number of times, and that game, of course, is known as the Directive 8020. We got a statement from Supermassive. Massive Games, the games industry remains a challenging and ever-evolving environment. As we adapt our team structure to better align with these changes, we've had to make the very difficult decision to begin a redundancy consultation process where we anticipate losing up to 36 of our colleagues. This decision was not taken lightly, and we know that this will be an incredibly difficult time for everyone. Our absolute priority will be to offer full support to all those affected. We remain focused on our upcoming projects and have made the decision to move the launch of Directive 8020 to the first half of 2026. The response to the game so far has been fantastic, and this additional time will help us deliver the very best experience for our fans. We're deeply grateful for the patience and support of our community. There is no impact on the development of Little Nightmares 3. So, there we have it. So, bad news bears is missing the October release window, which would have been perfect for a horror-based title. However, ultimately, they got to do what's best for the game, right? And it sucks for these people to go. I'm not overly surprised. Like, the video game industry is what it is at the moment. It's fucking tumultuous, to say the least, right? Like, people getting let go left, right, and center. If they've been able to do it and just 36 of their colleagues gone, they haven't gone. They haven't hit the nuke button. It's not the end of the studio, nothing like that, right? They're doing what needs to be done. It just is what it is. It's the world we live in at the moment. But how does this news kind of strike yourselves? Phil, I'll come across to you first.
Whenever you talk about this studio, Davey, I feel like you put on the rose-tinted glasses because it's always the positive spin on things. And now for the last 5 minutes or so after editing, you've given us a positive twist on redundancies.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Actually, I didn't realize I'm even doing it.
How, right? Has that word
crazy.
ever been linked with anything positive, regardless of the video games industry? When the word redundancy comes up in work, do you start rubbing your hands together, going, brilliant, things are going to start to improve?
Absolutely not.
No, definitely not. So the future of this game is in the bin, isn't it? It doesn't look good if they're making redundancies.
No.
If this game was successful and it's as good as they're saying it is, and of course they will do, that's the marketing spin on it. I work in marketing. You have to say everything is brilliant, knowing it's not. And I think they know it's not, but they have to do what's right for the company and save the money by making these people redundant, unfortunately. And it is a sad fact, but these things happen. But it's never a good sign, mate.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. And yeah, you're not wrong at all. I wonder who owns Supermassive. I'm actually looking this up right now.
It's not Tencent, is it? Come
That's the thing.
Can't be.
That's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering who owns them.
Surely not. I mean, they probably own everyone else.
Let me ask my good old friend, Google. I don't have a fucking clue. Nothing else to do. So that's all ask Google. So they're owned by Nordisk Games, right? Now, I want to see who else Nordisk own, because I don't even know who the hell they are. Nordisk Games, and I probably will when we get into them. Let's see. Nordisk Games team, let's see what it says. Supporting Europe's finest game companies. Okay, cool. Game studios, right. Let's have a look. So they've got Avalanche Studios, Supermassive, Flashbulb, Star Stable, and Mercury Steam. All right, so they got some actual big developers. To be fair, Mercury Steam is a pretty great developer, but certainly not a massive group by any means. Yeah, it doesn't
they don't own all of it either. They only own 30.7% stake.
Oh,
Who owns the rest of it then? It's just independently owned?
It says the studio is now becoming its third wholly owned studio. So that's the third studio that the Nordic has taken over. Okay, so they must own stakes in other companies. But the article I'm reading doesn't go into detail of who else has money in Supermassive, but 30.7%, that's just business, mate.
Yeah, fair
They're
enough.
not making
Yeah.
any decisions with that kind of stake.
Oh. Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? It's a tough one. And to me, the tea leaves on this, obviously, as you're saying, I can't brush it up any more than I have. Tea leaves are showing that it's not really in a great state, right? Like, if it was going to ship by October and they had confidence that it would sell, why wouldn't you just leave them on until they finish the project and then just do a natural cull of staff like you do with every project? But obviously the game isn't in the right state, and so they need to push it out, and they've realised, Christ, we can't afford, we're going to go way over budget with these amount of people in, we got to cut people. And that's the reality of what's happened here.
It's so good, they got to get rid of people.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Shouldn't
yeah.
be laughing. People have lost their jobs. They've all got families.
Yeah.
But-
But being
You only get
European,
sad about it so many times, man.
and being European, at least they're going to get a good redundancy package. It's not like as if they were in the States, is it? You
Depends
know?
if they work there for 2 years.
I guess there is that. There is that. Yeah. We'll
And
wait
that's
and see.
different per country as well. I think some countries are less. So,
Yeah.
who knows?
I think under EU law, I think they were all entitled to that, but for the 2-year rule, I think. But anyway, we're
This
not
is deep
getting
into the
that.
weeds for our podcast.
It certainly is. It certainly is. But yeah, how does this news strike you, Spence?
Well, obviously it's shit news. It always is. At the least, we're hearing about it from them directly and not from some article online somewhere. At least it's them telling us, which is, I suppose, the only good thing. And they're at least clarifying, Little Nightmares should still be fine because it's probably a different team working on it than any of the people getting sacked. Directive 8020. At least you're getting all your information. There's no rumors, nothing. It's just, this is what's happened. This is what works. But shit news. And there's not too much to say because we've done it 14 times already on the show.
Yeah, probably just this year. as well. It's just mental, isn't it? Absolutely mental. Well, heart goes out to all of them. And Supermassive, I hope you're able to put out a good game. I mean, I still believe, man. I still believe. I've been burnt so many fucking times at that stove, and I keep going back for more every time. Pre-order it, get it day one, play it, realize it's buggy as fuck, story shit, characters are bollocks. Every fucking time, and I go back hoping for another Until Dawn. And
Is
this
it
time,
literally every time as well? You beat the game because it's always got the trailer at the end, doesn't it? It's always got the trailer for the next one. Do you always see that trailer and go, oh,
yeah, every time.
every time?
Every time, dude. And the problem is, you get some which are like, you'll have shit, good, or great even. Like, there was that one year, I think it was like something Shadows, I can't remember what it's called now. Ashes of, something, I don't know. But it's set in like, it's about the army when they go into, they find aliens in like Iraq or whatever. And it's fucking awesome. That one's actually really, really good. And that had come from like 4 in a row that were shit. And I was like, they're back, baby, they're back.
They don't miss.
And then the next one was shit again.
They don't miss. It's crazy.
House of Ashes, I think it was called.
The House of Ashes is what it's called. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was like, they're back, fucking hell, they're back. And then they released The Quarry, which was good all the way until the ending, which was bollocks. And then their latest one, which was just, I don't even remember the name of it, was so bad. So, hey-o, I'll keep living in hope. But the signs, as you've quite rightly said, Phil, are pointing to it's bad news bears all round. Wait and see more to whenever we get the official release date for next year. Moving on. Phil, coming across to you for your true for or lie.
Okay, guys, here is my statement. I have never been on a roller coaster. Quick news. The 30th anniversary of the PS5 Digital Edition console bundle, the 30th anniversary of the DualSense wireless controller, and the 30th anniversary of the PlayStation Portal will have limited restock launching on September 29th, guys. Mark it in your calendars. You need to pre-order in the UK for exclusivity via PlayStation.com or direct.playstation.com in this highly limited quantities while supplies last. PlayStation Plus members will get a pre-order early access on July 21st at 10 a.m. with pre-orders for all players on July 23rd at 10 a.m. as well, guys. So there's a lot going on in that statement, okay? Now, I did try and get my hands on one of these 30th anniversary DualSense Edges, which isn't actually part of the set unless you buy the full console bundle, I believe. Now, DPD fucked me over with those deliveries. They're nowhere close on my shoulders when I'm delivering out in whatever country I'm doing it in Death Stranding 2, just to drop that in. They ain't got anything on me. So they messed up my delivery. I've been burnt once, boys. Now, is there anything in that list that you think you're going to take the risk on for the 30th anniversary? Because that colorway for the PlayStation and the Portal and the handset is sick. It looks beautiful. But do you need another version of this console just in a different colorway? Is anyone going to pay up those big bucks? Coming over to you first, Davey.
It's a tough one. And when the pre-order, obviously the pre-order dates are over now, as of the recording of this. So sorry if you only just heard this and this is news to you because you missed it already. But yeah, I mean,
I was time travelers, mate. That'd be fine.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go back in time and get one. I was looking at getting a standard handset in the 30th anniversary colors, but I decided against it. I've got two, and my black one is working perfect. It's been working for a number of years now. It's a fucking Trojan, keeps going, and I got my Edge, so I don't need another one. And until the time that my black one dies a death, like my original white one did, and my God of War one did, until then I'm not in the market for another. And to be fair, I've got the Edge, so I'll just replace parts on that when I need to, when the time comes, and that's working perfect. So no, it's not got me, although I am very jealous of those people that managed to get like a Portal in these colors, because it just looks fucking amazing, as well as like if you hadn't had a PlayStation and you managed to get one in those kind of colors. I'm very, very jealous of everyone because they look beautiful, but it's not enough to get me purchasing one, that's for damn sure.
So it's not getting your juices flowing. Now, wouldn't you want another PlayStation sat next to your PlayStation in a different colorway? Wouldn't that be a beautiful thing? You could tweet about it all day long and get the value there.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true.
I see a lot of people doing that kind of shit.
It's madness.
I don't understand it. It's usually people who've got gifted it, which rubs me up the wrong way because I've got gifted fuck all, and we're on episode 118. Anyway, Spence, are you going to be ordering anything? You don't have a Portal. Now, this is the perfect opportunity to get a sick-looking Portal.
It is, mate. I've said in the past as well, if I get a Portal, which I'm also desperate to get a Portal at the minute, I'd really love one. I want it in that colorway. I want the classic. And I've looked online for them. They're 200 quid everywhere bloody else. 200 quid for pre-order, £210 even. Can't afford it. So that's the only thing. If I could afford it, it would already be pre-ordered, because I would absolutely adore to have this. And a Portal, I think, is my next big purchase. I think I will get one. It's just when the time's right. Because at the minute, it's not worth me buying as it stands.
Fair dues. As I said, I'm not going to be diving back in because they fucked me over with the DualSense Edge, and that would be the only thing within that colorway that would have any interest for me, because I don't have an Edge. You know, if Death Stranding released their limited edition controller in a DualSense Edge, I would have bought it. That's what we need to start seeing now, is more DualSense Edge special editions, don't we? Because at the moment, you've got the DualSense Edge. I believe you can get a black one, maybe.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you
You've got
can.
midnight black.
Classic colorway with the 30th anniversary, which no one seems to have anymore and is a ludicrous price on eBay. We need limited editions now, don't we? That's what we really need.
I agree. I think it'd be nice to be able to do, or just be able to have shells. You know,
All
like
that,
the rest.
yeah.
Shells would be nice.
The rest of the controller is really moddable and adaptable, right? Like with all its triggers and stuff. Why can't you just have shells? It makes sense.
Sick.
Yeah, it'd be class. You know, and you could buy like third party online. You could buy like the grips and stuff, because the grips kind of wear out. So you can get those. Shell would just be sick. I don't know why they haven't done it. It doesn't make sense to me. I think for me personally, I always wanted them to go down the Xbox like kind of lab route, you know, where you can make your own controller. I wanted that. And they've never kind of
They
gone.
copied from Nike Lab.
Yes, yeah. Everyone iterates on everyone else, right?
Of course. They iterated and improved there, didn't they? They just put a handset instead of some Air Force Ones.
Yeah, exactly. And I want a PlayStation to do the same thing, but they never did. And it seems like a bit of a waste. So I'll never buy another Edge. Like, what's the point? But it would be awesome. Like, if I could have different colors that I could just like clip on, I'd probably get them, especially if they're like 20 quid or something for just a clip-on case. I'd probably have quite a few. Be nice.
But do you think PlayStation could really pull their finger out their ass with like clip-on like shells for a handset when they can't even sort out the distribution of the shells for the actual PlayStations and all the different variations we've got?
Yeah, no way.
Nah, PlayStation ain't doing that, bro.
I know.
They
Mental.
don't give a fuck.
They just leave money on the table all the
They
time
really
with this
do.
stuff.
Yeah.
Because if I could get like an SSJ Davey like custom pad, I'd be all about it. I really would. I think.
Yeah, one of those might sell.
Yeah, well, yeah, just for me, obviously.
To your
I'd custom
mum,
it.
and then...
I'd custom it for myself. It wouldn't be like PlayStation doing an SSJ version, would they? Like, no way.
Well,
But if I could...
we got a few fans these days. Subscriber base just went up.
Yeah, like
Imagine that. Maloon's at home. I got my SSJ Davey custom pad.
we got
Sick.
five orders max. 4 of them are me. Yeah, no, I can't imagine it. But it would be cool. I always think like the more kind of less the less effort you could put into like being able to sell stuff to people who are already buying stuff from you, the better. And I just don't see why you wouldn't make it like on the next version on PS6 or whatever as customizable as you can, because there's just money left on the table that your competitors already do. You can already see, like, whenever I speak to someone who's got an Xbox, they've always got their own custom pads. And they like, why wouldn't you do it? It's just cool.
Even to the Switch level, right? They've got custom joysticks and things like that, or Joy-Cons, haven't they? All different colorways, right? PlayStation just have a few. It just, they haven't really lent into this where they clearly could have.
Yeah.
But are they going to do it at this point?
No chance. No. Next gen. Hope for next gen.
Anyway, Spence, moving on. Can we have your lie, please?
Sure, mate. So my next one. I once had a serious eye infection because chicken blood got squirted into my eye.
What's this to do with your sister's PlayStation?
It's nothing to do with this PlayStation, mate. It's something else.
Two unrelated truth or lies.
This is brilliant. This is brilliant. This is like...
This is meta as hell.
This is great. This is such an improvement, Spence. Well done.
I got you,
You
mate.
put
I
in the
had
work,
an
eh?
extra 5 minutes to figure it out because you said during the start that we're doing truth or lies, so I could figure it out whilst we were doing the games. It was great.
This is what happens when we start the episode at 9 o'clock. Spencer is a night owl, right?
It's true.
He's getting into his kind of peak at the moment, isn't it? The later this podcast recording goes.
I get more awake by the minute, mate.
Yeah. We do it earlier. You just zonked out. Couldn't care.
That was straight exactly right, bro. All right, quick news. So, we've got a bit of information about Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. It will be playable at EVO 2025, and the playable characters include Captain America, Iron Man, Storm, Star-Lord, Miss Marvel, and Doctor Doom. And if you're there and you happen to play it, you can get a collectible pin. How lovely. And then there's
Nice.
also a developer combat panel scheduled on August 1st at 8 p.m. PT on the Evo showcase stage.
Hell
Now,
yeah.
Obviously, for years, we've said we're going to go Evo. We never have. And we'll say it again. Probably won't. Who knows? One day, I hope we will. I really hope we do.
We will.
I hope so.
We'll see. But
Vegas is amazing.
I bloody bet. I love a gamble. But
You
It'd
wouldn't
probably-
last an hour, Spence.
it'd be
They'd
bad,
eat you
mate.
alive in Vegas.
Oh, mate, I'd be gone. I'd lose everything. I've
wouldn't
got
come
nothing to lose as well. I'd be gone. My overdraft full. Blooming heck.
It'd be on Splitwise. All the money we've lent Spencer, like, fucking hell, you let him have more money? What are you
Thousands,
doing?
mate. Blooming heck, that'd be class. But I'll tell you what, I'm gutted that this isn't the year we're going to Evo. Because this game, I would love to play early. And I'm pretty sure you guys are just as excited as me. Phil, how do you feel about this being at Evo?
Well, 100%, Spence. I agree with you on this. I would love to be at Evo to witness this game in its sort of early workings, to dig in and get to play before other people. Would be amazing because I'm so hyped about this game. And I'm hyped on everything Marvel at the moment. I only watched Fantastic Four on the weekend. And Davey, we haven't spoke about it yet, but that movie is sick.
Yeah, great.
Storm,
Yeah, great.
incredible. The whole thing is great. I really liked it. Didn't end as I thought it might end, but really, 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 really good. And the after credits, the one after the credits was rubbish, but the one mid credits, that was good, wasn't it? Led on to the future. Really, really good. But anyway, that does get me excited about Marvel and Marvel Fighters. But I would love to be out there at Evo 2025 because in other news, 2KXO is there as well. Which is the League of Legends fighting game. Vi has just either been released or is coming to Evo playable, which is good. And they're just opening a beta, which is going to be open now for everybody to dive in that has dived in before. And apparently they're just going to keep the servers up so we can keep playing this game, which is good news to hear as well on that front. But yeah, very, very jealous. And I would love that pin.
Damn straight, mate. Damn straight. And you, Davey, mate, how do you feel about this news?
Maybe a year out from release, something like that. And I got to play it at a con in London, I think it was, or somewhere in the UK anyway, maybe Birmingham, I don't know. And got to play it early. And I was just hopeful, right? I'm a massive Dragon Ball fan. And I was just hoping to God that they somehow nailed it. And playing it for like a couple of rounds, just realized, oh my God, like this is going to be my life. And it was. It like completely... I didn't play Smash. I stopped playing Smash for it. I loved it so much, which is just insane, right? Like no fighting games like ever really done that for me. Made this fucking Marvel Tokon made by the same developers at it again on a 4v4 where like the thing that's going to be really exciting and not being there and being able to play it firsthand, the one thing that's going to be nuts is that the amount of information that's going to flow out of this is going to be crazy. Like, we all speculate it's going to be run on a single health bar, that it's a shared health bar across all four characters. That's going to finally be confirmed. We're going to figure out how everything kind of works, what the names of like the people are, like in terms of, do they have specific roles? Like on the screenshots they put up for this announcement, they had one as like leader, then they had like shooter, they had all these different kind of subcategories. But is that just the assist? Is that like, what does it all mean? Like all this stuff is going to become really, really clear. And sure, it's not a final version, so things can change, but it would give really good insight into how the game runs at the moment, let alone the fact that we got the fucking developer combat panel, which we're going to learn so much about. So August 1st, 8 p.m. PT, cancelling whatever plans I got in there. I'm fucking watching that shit. Can't wait. And I'm just hoping that we get some of our announcements for characters that we all came up for in that.
Yeah.
Really hope so. It would be a great place to be able to show a couple of characters, wouldn't it? Another team of 4.
It's going to be really interesting to see how this one lands, isn't it? Because as we know, and I only just referenced 2KXO, that's gone through a lot of different changes now in its long development. So if Marvel Tokon comes to this show and people go, the visuals are great, and it was kind of what I was expecting, but this doesn't work, this doesn't work, this doesn't work. They're going to chop and change a load of these things. But it's the time to get the best feedback, isn't it? Because this is the community that's going to play it for the life of the product, right? It's not your casuals at EVO. These are your hardcore FGC guys who are going to spend the next couple of years playing this game. So this is the feedback you need. So, yeah, I'm going to be glued the same as you, Davey. So cancel all plans.
I hope you boys are aware that that is at 4 a.m. on Tuesday.
Working from home on Wednesday.
I am working from home. I think it's a nice to start a day early. You know, the early bird gets the worm, bro.
4 a.m. is nuts, bro. I just watch it after work. What, you crazy? But I might be there with you. I might be watching it too. This game, I'll tell you what, Phil, if people don't like this game at EVO, I'll do 2 shots. There is no way people aren't in love with this game.
Not even a bet.
No, I'll just do it, mate. I'll just gamble
straight. Okay, how are we measuring this?
I don't know. If it's got good reception. I don't think we're going to see much bad stuff about it.
Yeah, fair enough, mate. Yeah, put 2 shots on for yourself.
Yeah, why not? There's no risk to you, lads. But I reckon this game's going to slap. It looks great. And Arc Sys don't miss. We say this a lot.
That's a curse.
But
Spence, I wasn't saying that it's gonna miss.
No, I'm just
saying it's interesting to see how it lands, because these are the people that will find fault with games straight away. It's not like putting it in a bloody, Tesco's or something, so the 6 or 7 year old kids are gonna play it. Not that ever happens anymore. That was my youth, right? Standing there at the TV that you had to look up, vertical, and your neck would hurt after being to the shops when your mum's doing the big shop. You're not getting feedback from them. This is the FGC. They're going to give you the feedback that probably is going to hurt.
But they're also going to give us the feedback that's the best.
100%. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, we're not there, so it'll be 99%.
Yeah, 99%. Exactly right, mate. Exactly right. I'll tell you what.
I'll have to tune into the next episode.
I did one of those booth things for Marvel 3 in Cineworld.
Did you?
Yeah. Very cool,
awesome,
mate. Very sick. I already had the game. I don't know why they did it. It was out. But it was very cool.
We did one for Street Fighter X Tekken, didn't we, Phil? When that was way before release, and it was at that.
It was a boxing club in a church in Bristol.
That's
a
right,
rough part of Bristol.
Really?
Really rough part of Bristol, which I parked my TT outside, and I was really scared that it was going to get broken into. But because it was a free bar, me and Davey just thought, fuck it, we'll just drink as much as we can. And we slept in my car.
Yeah,
that's
great.
Dedicated to the trade we were.
Yeah,
and you had a great time. Did you just grind Street Fighter X Tekken the whole time?
It was great. It was really good.
Fantastic.
There was loads of art there, and loads of different booths where you could play all different kind of pro players and stuff. It was quite good.
And they had Marvel there, and they had Street Fighter 4, and just tournaments as well. And so it's where we originally met a lot of the Bristol scene that then we became very close with over the next few years. So it was awesome. It's where we kind of founded the idea for our fighting game series that we ran, our fighting game tournament. A lot of things came out of that, and yeah, Phil was like, "No, I'm not drinking. I'll drive." And I was like, "All right, it's free bar." And he's like, "Yeah, no, I'll be fine." And then we get in there. He has 2 or 3 beers, and next thing you know, we're in Bristol town. Then after it finished,
that's what happened.
Went for a night out,
didn't we?
Yeah, went for a night out.
I remember walking back to my car. It was the most sketchy area ever in Bristol, man. I don't know how we got away with that.
It was the first time in my life I'd ever had a prostitute come up to me.
Really?
On a night out, yeah. And I don't think I've really had that many since. But yeah, it was a really rough area of Bristol, in St. Paul's, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it's a woman, and we were fucking battered. We were absolutely fucking battered. Free bar, and we fucking put that to use. I was fucking wrecked stumbling out there. And then we went out and drunk all night in Bristol. And some prostitute was just like, what are you up to tonight, darling? Rough as fuck, right? 55, rough as shit. And I was like, how much for a blowy? And she was like, 20 quid. I was like, £5. And she was
trying
like,
to
no.
knock it down from 20 quid is mad.
She was like, no, 20. I'm like, nah, you're right, love.
Where were you going to do it if it happened? In my car, when we sat next to you?
It wouldn't have worked
cold
anyway.
outside.
I was fucking battered. I wouldn't have got it up. And in the
Fiver
best,
though. Fiver for a little tickle though.
yeah, maybe. She was I was battered and she was mank. So you can only imagine if I was sober how bad she would have been, you know? Like, 'cause that beer goggles thing on Minging Women works like so hard. You know, your inhibitions, your standards drop. Like maybe you might sell for like a 6 out of 10 or something, but you'll go all the way down, or I will go all the way down to like a 3, bro. Like I'll go for like gutter trash when I'm trashed. And she was like a no.
Makeup and beer is a trick. It's a lie.
It is a lie.
Be careful out there, guys.
Yeah, all the young lads listening out there, just try and look after each other. Or if someone's going to go for it, they just never mention it again as a group.
Don't do a podcast and then start admitting it during a truth or a lie.
Yeah, like 15 years later.
Yeah.
Oh. Mate, I've got a story about one of my mates doing something like that. That is horrific. But I'm not saying that on here.
You can't. You can't do that.
You want
to have them all write it in. Well, I hope they do.
I'm definitely not going to say his bloody name.
No, don't say his name.
No, but he was in Amsterdam and a hooker came up to him and he paid her 40 quid just to go down on her and then do nothing else.
You've told me this.
He went down on her
and
paid 40 quid for it.
Yeah.
What a mug.
Mug, bro.
What the fuck? That's
no idea.
A reverse. What? Why? What the hell?
All of us ripped him for ages. We were like, mate, why?
I would never let that go. I would lose all respect for someone if they did that. I'd be like,
Crazy,
what are you doing? Like
ridiculous.
Mental.
Did she come?
I mean, I wasn't there. I have no idea.
She bound to have. Well, I mean, what?
She might have acted like
she's a prostitute. She got a little kid licking her out.
Yeah,
she's probably not could have come, is she?
Yeah.
She's like, thanks.
Well,
40 quid.
Yeah, cheers for that. Thanks.
Yeah. Oh, I orgasmed. You're so good.
So good. 40 quid, please.
Yeah, it's your first time licking a girl out. Yeah. Fucking hell.
Woo.
Jesus.
But I'll tell you what, boys. I wouldn't mind on the show just having a bit of a story time every now and then. I like that. Obviously, this news wasn't even that big, but look how long we've talked about nothing.
Cathartic.
Not the news at all, but
Cathartic.
Brilliant regardless.
Do you mean our podcast in general or just the news item?
Just news item, I think, mate.
Okay.
Usually we're quite to the point, I think, lately. I don't think we trail off that much anymore. But that was a fun one. With that, I think that bit of news is done. Let's move it back round. Davey, to yourself, give us your next statement.
All right. I never wanted a PlayStation 2 as a kid. I wanted the Dreamcast. Quick news. Last episode, myself and Phil were talking all about House of the Dead. And we played a shooter in an arcade, spent 20 odd quid on it, had a great time, Scarlet Dawn.
Sick.
If we want to go and spend even more money for potentially an even better experience, there is, and the button's off for this, all right, lads? Because otherwise it's just be an awful fucking thing to talk about.
Agreed.
Resident Evil 2 Deadshot.
Resident Evil.
That was good.
Shot is a new arcade game specifically for arcades developed by Bandai Namco and Capcom. Now, what this is, it's a co-op rail shooter with a light gun. So much like the games that came out onto the Nintendo Wii back in the day, and then later the PlayStation 3 in the Umbrella and Dark Side Chronicles, in that same vein. And this follows the Resident Evil 2 remake story. And so you play as Leon and Claire. And yeah, just go for it. Over 5 episodes, apparently, with the first 2 already unlocked. Using a light gun to face hordes of zombies inside the Raccoon City Police Department. Now, this machine, if you're thinking to yourself, audience, Christ, which services do I need to stop at to play this?
Tamworth.
Unfortunately, it's not going to be on the M5 or M4. Well, I suppose it is on the M5 or M4 if you follow it all the way down, because it is in London at Namco Funscape in the UK, and it's in currently its testing phase. So they're saying the gameplay is similar to that of Resident Evil Umbrella Chronicles and Dark Side, which is fine. And according to a local Japanese blog, Resident Evil 2 Deadshot could also be in the testing phase in Japan. So if you're listening to this in Japan, hunt around. I don't know where it is, but
Konnichiwa.
Yeah, Oh, I like that, mate. All those years of Duolingo paying off,
that's
Phil,
class, mate.
for that one moment.
So sick.
So yeah, if you're in London, get into Namco Funscape and get on it, because what a fucking great time it is to have. Anyone up for going down to London with me to give this a bash?
I'd tell you what, I wouldn't go exclusively for this. I'd assume there's a massive get pissed night out after, and in which
course.
case, absolutely, I'm there.
Hell yeah, joining us on this, Phil.
Yeah, well, I'm in London fairly regularly. Anyway, my brother lives down in London. I work a lot in London, go to lots of meetings. So why not? I might just head over after work and check it out. See if it really lives up to the hype, because I absolutely loved those games back in the day on the Nintendo. It was a beautiful moment to be able to play Darkside Chronicles and see Wesker and things like that, right? In an on-rail shooter. Because I love those original games, even though they're complete jank, like Dead Aim and things like that. I really enjoyed the originals. And then just to get that slight upgrade with the Wii, if we can call it a slight upgrade. But no, I would have so much fun. But we need to take a lot of pound coins. So get saving.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be expensive.
It would be a very
Is it going to be a
expensive day.
pound to go? Probably not. It's in London.
Yeah, it's probably £2.
Probably
£2 a
£2
life.
a
Probably
life.
like a fiver, boys. It's probably fiver contactless.
It's not going to put us off, though. I'm 100% down for this. If we're going up as a group for a night out, I'm in. If not, and I'm around that area, I might just pop in and see how it goes.
Do it, mate. Do it.
Go akimbo.
I'm not back down in London, I think, till September, I think. Who knows if I'll get a chance. But if I'm down there, I'll certainly head there over. It's another excuse to go to Namco Funscape. I went there last time I was in London, which was only a few weeks ago, actually. And a few weeks ago, probably a couple months ago now. Otherwise, I would run into it.
Time flies, eh?
Yeah, it does. It really does. And it's just a great place anyway. It's full of gachas and stuff. It's really cool. So yeah, it's different, that's for sure. And
Last time I was in there, I met Tom Syndicate.
Oh,
If you
did
know
you?
who he is? Yep.
Yeah, I know who he is.
Yeah.
Nope.
Pretty
Nope.
big. Pretty big
Yeah,
guy.
massive. Well, he used to be massive. He's
Yeah,
not,
used to
Was
be.
he?
anymore.
Used to be.
Yeah.
YouTuber.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
He used
right.
to be like the biggest YouTuber in the UK.
Really?
Yeah,
Mm.
years ago though. He did COD Zombies.
I did not know that. Well, that's pretty cool. Little shout out. Did you get him on the podcast?
Yeah, this was before this podcast.
Oh, a long time ago.
Did you get a picture with him?
Somewhere. I think so. Probably an older iPhone, though.
There you go.
Love to see that. That'd be a great, if you can find it somehow by Wednesday, it's the fun though.
Oh, I used to know them all, mate. There's a photo of me in KSI. Photo of me
Yeah.
in LAA, you know. All the old school YouTubers. There's me. Some 36-year-old, probably at that point, hanging out with a bunch of kids. Looking cool. And now I'm hanging out with you two. Looking cool.
Looking super cool, mate. Super cool. Well, there you go. Well, with that bombshell, let's move it on. Let's come across over to yourself, Mr. Hoy, for the final bit of quick news.
Okay, quick news. So I have been on more than a few roller coasters. Quick news. So guys, here is an update on Battlefield 6. This releases, as we know, in October 10th. And this is what we don't know until now. It will cost €80 on console. Oh my God. They're targeting 100 million players and they're going to charge you €80 a pop for this game. Okay? And that's not all the news I've got to introduce you to. So Bill Kunn has been up to his old tricks and he has found out that yes, they're planning the release date and there's a beta coming out in August as well to get us hyped for Battlefield 6. There'll be 2 editions of the game. You'll get your standard edition and then you'll get your Phantom edition. A Phantom edition, which includes some additional in-game content, guys. Now, does that get you excited for your £80? Because if it doesn't, you can find out all about the Battle Royale maps, because that's one of the worst kept secrets in gaming at the moment. Another data miner has revealed all aspects of the Battle Royale map and has posted it all on Twitter for you. You can see the location. It's called Lydon Beach, the main 9 points of interest, as well as 27 other areas that you should be checking out on that map. Now, does that get you hyped for Battlefield 6? Are you going to pay the $80? And are you going to be one of those 100 million players that the big wigs up in EA are hoping for come August time. Davey, I'm going to throw it over to you first.
Yes, I am. I'm so hyped for Battlefield. That obviously we had the trailer come out. As we were saying on the show last time that there was going to be a Battlefield trailer come in. There was. It was fantastic. It was a campaign trailer, but it got my dick hard. It was really fucking cool. It was what I needed it to be. Just basically just sets the scene in terms of what the conflict is. Didn't need to do much more than that. Just know it's modern day. Everything we've seen in the alpha kind of already gave that away. But it was enough. And we got the multiplayer trailer coming out in 3 days' time as of the day of recording. So only a couple of days ago, I think it's Thursday, that it drops. And I fucking can't wait because I'm so in for this. I'll be there on the beta playing it. I got so many hours into Battlefield across like 3, 4, and World War 1 that I can't wait to dive in and dust off the Battlefield boots and hit the ground running as the medic class, which is the class I always seem to play in Battlefield. So yeah, I can't wait for it. I do find it interesting that they're doing a Battle Royale. And I think that then sums up the question of where they're going to get that 100 million players from. Because there's no other way. We were saying about like how to get 100 million players, they've got to go either into Game Pass, PSN, whatever it is, right? No, it's fucking Battle Royale. Like, it's a Battle Royale. To get 100 million players, it's got to be a free-to-play Battle Royale mode. Has to be. It's the only thing that makes sense. So you pay the 80 quid for the campaign multiplayer, just like you do for COD. Right, and 80 euros would be 70 quid in the UK, so normal price for us. So it's not too surprising, I don't think, in terms of the cost for it. If it's 80 quid and it's going down Nintendo pricing structure, that's a lot. But 80 euros is the same price we'd pay for a game over here, 70 quid on face value. Obviously, I'll get it for actually, I probably will end up paying that because I'll get it digital rather than buying it physical for a shooter like this. Anywho, by the by, I'm definitely going to be there. Battle Royale sounds really, really interesting. I do want to give a final kind of fact because we spoke about it last episode. We were saying, I wonder how many COD sells, right? Like, how many does COD sell each year, like, to get this 100 million player thing? I looked it up at the end of last episode. And so the best-selling COD entry, the best one ever, is Black Ops 3 from 2015, and that shipped 43 million copies that sold. Battlefield ain't selling anywhere near that, right? Like, I think if they can sell 10 million to 15 million, they've done very, very well for themselves. The only way this gets 100 million is Battle Royale. It's the only thing. And as I'm big on the Battle Royale front at the moment, especially with Apex, there's a strong chance that I could be in for a Battle Royale for this. I say this when I don't like Warzone for COD. So you never know, right? It's going to go one of two ways. But I like the larger scale side of Battlefield where it's like, 64 players plus or whatever. And you got tanks, you got fucking people out in the sea and ships. You got fucking airplanes flying over and helicopters and shit. I like all that. I can imagine that as a massive Battle Royale. And it kind of gets me really excited. So I'm all for this. I'm really positive on Battlefield at the minute.
Nice. So you're sipping the EA Kool-Aid straight down your gullet. And you're happy with that improved or increased price that we have to accept these days of sort of £70 in the UK. But of course, if you're buying it £70 and you're buying it digitally, Spencer's getting it for free. So win-win. So that probably answers my question. Spencer, are you going to be in for Battlefield come October 10th or for the beta in August?
I'm definitely not going to buy it. But, if it's right there for me to play, I suppose I'll have to play it. The only issue with Battlefield for you and I, Davey, is I don't like those massive fuck-off 64-man or 128-man ones. I like the ones that play like COD. That's why I like Battlefield 3 so much. Battlefield 3 had loads of there's like a map that was kind of like Shipment.
Yeah, I know. I know the one.
So good. It's my favourite map by far.
I don't mind those, and I think the differentiator between that and COD is always that you can't really go alone in Battlefield, or if you do, you're going to get smoked. Like, you really should still play a bit more tactfully in a way. Like, you still should play with the other people, make sure you've got where your medics are, where your engineers are. Like it's the same way that when we played Killzone Online, Phil. and the different classes work together. It's the same structure for Battlefield. They ripped it off Battlefield. They did, and it's the same thing. So you can run and gun, but you're just making life harder for yourself. Whereas if you've got a right kind of team together that spawn on each other, as that squad, you're set up for success. And that's why I like Battlefield. Battlefield's kind of multiplayer, even if it is smaller base compared to COD, 'cause it does feel different.
Yeah, hell yeah. Well, I'm definitely there. And if I assume the beta we're talking about, it doesn't really say much specific about the beta, but I assume you get that for buying the game. That's what I'd assume it is.
So far, I haven't seen any details about that. It's only what Bill Kun has sort of found when he's been sort of digging around.
Yeah.
He just found that there's an upcoming beta in August. That's what he's saying. So it's not even confirmed at those dates.
Yeah, I imagine what you're going to have to wait for, Spence, is the multiplayer trailer in a couple of days, and then we'll learn everything there, I imagine. I'll be surprised if it's not a case that, you'll definitely get early access to the beta if you pre-order, like the same way COD does. I imagine they'll want to open it up to as many players as possible, so they can really test the service, they can make sure it's all working right, and then get those first impressions, especially if we're getting like a launch in October or something. You need to drum up hype for it, and if you're only speaking to those people that are already in Battlefield, that's not the ones you want, because they buy every game and doesn't really sell that well. So you need to really just hit everyone. So you've got to open it up at some point. I imagine it'd be like COD, where they have like a subscriber, like pre-order only for like 2 days, and then it opens up to everyone else for another 3. I imagine it'd be one of those situations. But it's just, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
just make sure you're signed up to EA Play. You'll get in early then, won't you? If you do it that way. Some sort of subscription probably for EA. Some extra money.
Stupid thing. But yeah, I assume you're right, Davey, to be fair. And you probably are as well. I feel EA Play probably does have some fucking bullshit to do with it. But if I've got access to it, I'm there. I can't even afford to buy it at the minute. I can't afford to be spending that kind of money. €80 get fucking bent. No chance. But if Davey's bought in, I've got access, obviously I'll be you'll probably medic me or something, because you just want to drag me away. Be like, Newcastle and freaking Revenant anyway. We'll just play Apex. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly right. What about yourself, Phil? Are you going to join us on this? You're going to check out the beta if it does go open to everyone?
I mean, if it's open, I got no reason not to sort of join in. But it's just the timings, really, because to really get good at these types of games, which I'm not, it requires a lot of time. And there's so many single player experiences, which I'm absolutely loving at the moment. And I don't see them finishing anytime soon. I'm going back to back Kojima. I'm going Death Stranding into Metal Gear. Not that the newer one has anything to do with Kojima, but he was involved in the creation of the first game. So, yeah, I'm going to be a busy man for pretty much the rest of the year. I've also got to go back to Doom. I've also got to go back to Stellar Blade. I've also got to go back to Armored Core.
And Silent Hill.
Bloody
the list
hell.
goes on and on and on, honestly. And they're all stellar experiences, which I have to finish.
Yeah, there is that. I think the only thing that goes in your favour for Battlefield compared to something like COD is that it generally has a higher life pool, so it's not quite as twitchy. And it's also a case of you can just, if things are going bad, just jump in a helicopter. Just jump in a helicopter, we'll fly around, we'll shoot people, have fun, right? Like, it's not, I never seem to really care too much about my KD on Battlefield like that I do on COD. I think because it's like so chaotic, it's just so crazy. And it's a different feel to it. And I'm sure that back in Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 1, I had a pretty good KD, to be fair, and I was a bit sweaty, but I don't have to play it that way. We can just go and have fun and just fly around in F-16s and just fucking dive people or just kamikaze and stuff, and it's fun. So,
it's within their interest, really, to have multiple accounts. So you can have your for fun account, couldn't you?
I could.
And then you can, play with me and Spencer. And if you want to be sweaty, then you just play on your own.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. Wait and see. It'd be good to get you on the battlefield, though, mate. I'll be happy to stand with you side by side on that battlefield when that day comes. Wait a few more days. Next episode, I'm sure we can all talk about some of the extra news that comes out later on this week. So stay posted, guys, and we'll let you know.
Nice. Well, that brings us to the end of quick news. Now we have to work out who was a dirty liar. Well, we all have been dirty liars, but which one was the truth? Let's go over to Spencer first. Spence, do you want to remind us of your truth and then your lie in that order?
Sure, mate.
And then we'll pick for them.
Sure, you are. Yeah. I'll just say them in the order I said them originally. So the first one, when I was a kid, I couldn't beat Hello Kitty Roller Rescue, so I smashed my sister's pink PS2 Slim. And then I once had a serious eye infection because chicken blood got squirted into my eye.
Okay, let's break down the chicken blood. Squirted into your eye on purpose, or is it kind of what the hell was that movie? They look up and the blood drips into the eye. Dawn of the Dead. Is it
28
Dawn of the
days
Dead?
later.
28 days. There we go.
28 days later.
Thanks for the correction.
You're welcome.
We'd have them all in the comments, wouldn't we? All the movie buffs.
We'll still get them,
just
mate.
one
We'll
of
still
them.
get them. They'll have paused after you got it wrong, and they'll have
think so.
typed it up and commented before they listen to Davey's.
They'll clip
They'll
that.
stop the video then as well because they're so angry you got it wrong.
But was that the case with the chicken blood? Have you got chicken crazy?
I have
Can you
mate.
not control yourself around KFC?
Can't, no, KFC slaps. There's a new burger at KFC I need to try. But no, basically it was dead chicken in a little bag, and when I opened the bag, it went straight into my eye.
How does
Dead chicken.
all chicken? I mean, it'd be weirder if you had a bag of alive chicken.
Well, they start off alive, don't they, before you close the bag?
Yeah, very true, very true.
It was like it was a dead
I-
chick, like a baby chick.
Yeah, I looked after chickens when I was in school. Didn't you ever do that?
I never put
I
one in a
never did it.
bag.
I remember in Mrs. Parr's class in primary school, we got to look after our own chickens and name them. Can't remember the name. Probably something to do with Warhammer
That's
at the time.
awesome. I never did that.
Because I was a Chaos Dwarfs collector, so probably something mental that I named the little chicken. But yeah, we got to raise chickens in the class.
Oh, that's
But you're
cute.
right, I never put them in a bag. And I
Yeah.
was never squirted with blood.
Yeah, very weird. I mean, like, I eat a lot of chicken. I've never had an issue with chicken blood. I've had like chicken juices, right? Like when you're slicing a chicken and it's like, or you defrost it, right? And then it's kind of like goes everywhere. Had that situation, but I've never, it's not like as if, right? You guys probably don't get this because you don't like sweet things for some reason. But if you ever have a donut, right, that's on the side and it goes a little bit stale, you put it in the microwave for like 20 seconds.
Rub it with chicken blood.
Stick it in your eye.
You put it in the microwave for 20 seconds, right? And you take it out and it like regains its old youth. It's like as if it's been put in like, a fountain of youth syrup or whatever. And it comes out like a brand new donut again. Danger with that is you touch it once and the fucking jam in the center has become like
jam.
molten lava, right?
Right.
And it becomes like really like just fucking runny. And so you just one touch and it like squirts out and it's fucking molten, right? I've never had a situation ever in my life where chicken's ever spurted at me. Like ever. And I eat a fucking shit ton of chicken.
Yeah.
Never. Not even from carving chicken, to just like chicken strips or chicken breast or chicken mince. Nothing has ever squirted on me to the point where it's been like a shock, let alone in your eye, unless you were holding the chicken in a bag, right? That was defrosted, so it's got all the juice on it, and then you squirted it for whatever reason into your own face. I don't know how this could happen. I really don't. But leaving the
Because
chicken...
that you think is real. Because it's so mental. This one feels much more mental than the other one.
I don't know. I don't know, because the other one, right? I would have thought you would mention it. You know, when I admitted that I smashed that kid's game case up with a baseball bat, I would imagine that would be a natural thing for you to mention, well, I did do this to my sister's PlayStation 2. And that never happened, right?
But yours is different because yours you smashed out of petty revenge.
Well, what's
you did
yours?
it out of frustration.
Frustration makes I couldn't beat the game. I was playing that game on that PS2.
So a bit like Davey when I beat him in Smash Brothers. And he got my handset and smashed it against my wall.
Exactly
and again,
right.
It's never come up, this story, is it? It's never come up.
My story comes up all the time.
Yeah.
I quite like that happened. But you still owe me a pad. So it's kind of me just reminding you a little bit now, all these years later.
And a PS3
Although I did
pad.
get those two
There's
PlayStation
two moves.
moves.
Two moves
So
handsets.
it's probably evened out in the wash, hasn't it?
Well, actually, probably owe me money, to be fair. But, we'll leave that to the side. I'm going to go on the basis. I'm going to go on your PS2 one being a lie. I reckon you didn't smash that up. I reckon the chicken blood's true.
Okay. What about you, Phil?
See, that's the way I was going to go. But I don't like agreeing with Davey. Otherwise, we'd all just agree with Davey and the podcast would be really boring, wouldn't it? So I think I'm gonna go for the chicken blood being the truth.
That's the same
same as
thing
me.
as Dave.
But that's the same. I'm gonna go for yeah.
Yeah, all that. But I'm going to agree with him anyway.
I'm going to go for the opposite one today.
The PS2. You reckon the
Whatever
PS2
that
true?
is. So I think yes, your sister.
You smashed.
You owe her a pink PlayStation 2 Slim, and those are quite rare these days, aren't they? Especially the coloured ones.
Yeah,
Because
they are.
I have a PlayStation 2 Slim black one actually sitting right next to me on my CRT, and I've got a little LCD monitor. LCD, I think it's an LCD little monitor for it as well, which again is quite rare. And I know those go up in price. So a pink one, probably.
See,
Couple
you'd
of quid
think
these
so.
days.
However, on Facebook Marketplace, I think just last week, I saw the exact PS2 with 2 pink handsets and a bunch of games and memory cards, 30 quid.
Wow.
Steal, mate. What a steal.
Bargain.
Yeah. And
Get
the
it?
PS2 Slim was such a good bit of tech. It was so small.
I never had one. I
so
had
smashable.
my PS2 just ran from the day I had it. Yeah, it ran from the day I had it. I never need to replace it. So I still got my original PS2 down here. So
It's
I
the one with
never
all
had
the
a
stickers
need.
on, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's covered.
See, mine was American, my PS2, and this is why I have the American account now, really. It's because, well, it's the PS3's fault more than the PS2's fault.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the PS2 was when, we could buy games 6 months before they come out in the UK market. So I never actually had a British PS2 until I bought the PS2 Slim.
Wow.
Second hand, actually, on our intranet on my old work, which I created, actually. So I created an intranet where people could sell things. and then anyone who put video games up, I was like, yeah, I can buy them. Because they wouldn't know the value of them. It was brilliant. Bought loads. Anyway, I digress.
So anyway, I never smashed the PS2.
So I'm right. So it was the chicken.
Hello Kitty Roller Rescue. I'll tell you what, I beat it in an hour. It is a very short and very easy game. I had no trouble with it.
I never doubted you, Spence. I know you're cracked on the sticks.
Mate, it was
Even
a
the
game
Hello
for,
Kitty sticks.
Yeah, it was a 3-year-old's game. But the chicken blood one is absolutely true. It was, like I said, I don't know, all this cooking chicken stuff you were saying. It was a baby chick in a bag. Remember I had pet owls?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I thought you meant like a chicken boob. I didn't realize you meant like a proper chicken.
A proper chicken, mate. It was just a chicken that had died, and then we just chucked them in the freezer. And then we'd defrost them in a bag to then feed to the owl. And the chicks are just dead chicks. They've not been cut or anything because the bird just eats it and it all gets stuck. All the hair and bone gets stuck on a hook, and then it coughs it up in a little ball.
But this is why you knew that fact.
So I knew that fact last episode. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
probably why this came to my head this time.
And
But
we
yeah,
said
when
it was
I-
proper rogue, didn't we? Having birds. Like
Yeah.
birds of prey in your back garden. That is rogue.
Yeah, mega bad.
Rogue,
Hey, we
Yeah,
had like 9 at one point.
That's a red flag,
yeah,
it was
mega red flag.
But
just
yeah,
generally.
one day I was trying to feed him, opened the bag and straight in my eye, and then my eye got like swollen and all yellow and crusty for like a month and a half.
Oh,
Even I went to a Smash tournament with my eye like it, and I was getting stared at all day. Felt
What-
awful, but it was
What did you put
minging.
shades on, bro?
I just didn't. I just dealt with it, mate.
Yeah. I would have just had shades on inside.
I just dealt with it. But the funny thing was everyone coming up being like, "What happened?" I'd be like, "Chicken blood," and they'd be like, "What?"
And then you
get to tell the
telling
story.
that story, and you were just like, "I smashed up my sister's PS2. It went in my eye." Oh yeah, bro. Yeah, we've all done that.
Yeah,
fuck,
hell yeah.
Hello
Fuck 'em.
Kitty. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck that game.
Hell yeah. But well done, Davey. You got it right. Point for you.
Well done, Davey.
Oh, there you go. Well, move over to myself then, if you like. So my first one was I never wanted a PlayStation when I was a kid. I wanted an N64. And my second was I never wanted a PlayStation 2 as a kid. I wanted the Dreamcast. Hit me, guys.
Oh, so you got to think.
Shit.
Was this early on in the console generations, or is this midway through these console generations?
No, for both of these, it is just before. either of them kind of came out. So it was just before I acquired them.
I think I know the answer. So I'm going to let Spencer ask some questions first.
I think I know the answer too. I'm pretty sure I've had this
Really?
conversation with him too.
I'm trying to rack my head in terms of things I haven't
It's not
told you
that
guys.
I think I know because you've told me. I think I just know because I know you.
Oh. Well, what are you going for then?
Okay,
No
Spence, do
questions?
you want to go first? Because I will not change.
Okay. Shit, do I know? I feel like I know, but I can't remember. We've definitely talked about this before, 100%, but a long time ago. I'm going to say the truth because there's no point asking questions. They're the same fucking thing. I'm going to say the truth is it makes more sense to not want the PS1, but I think you didn't want the PS2. I'm going to go PS1 anyway. It makes more sense.
So you reckon the truth is that I never wanted a PlayStation 1 and N64?
Yeah.
Okay. What about yourself, Phil? Where are you going?
Opposite, because you're a Sega kid. You grew up a Sega kid. So I think it's the Dreamcast.
Damn, that is such an easier way to figure that out.
Yeah.
But am I right? I don't know now. You've taken this big, deep breath.
You're not right, I'm afraid, Phil. You're not right. You're not right. And if you thought about it logically, with a little bit more, because you're right, I love the Dreamcast. My cousin Rob had a Dreamcast.
Correct.
I really wanted one. It was so good. And he had his Dreamcast a few months before I got my PS2, and I was all about it. But I played Metal Gear Solid 1 by then, and Metal Gear Solid 2 was like basically a launch PS2 titles, or not far off, like the following year. So I was all PS2 all the way. Like nothing would have pulled me off that. I wanted an N64 because I went to Toys R Us. You know what we were saying about like playing games in places, and they had Pilot Wings, right? And Mario
Wings. Game,
yeah, what
Pilot
a
Wings.
shit game.
They had
Just
Pilot Wings.
jumping out of a plane and going through hoops.
Yeah, it was
It
shit.
was so boring, man.
But they also had Super Mario 64 there, and so I was able to play that, and I was like, "Holy shit, these graphics are nuts!" Because I'd only been playing like a fucking Mega Drive, and so I was like, holy fuck, this is amazing, like this is so good. And that Christmas I got a PlayStation, and I was like, well, I really wanted the N64. And little did I know, my mum and dad, the fucking goats, saved me from the N64, because the N64 was shit in comparison to PlayStation. You look at the games that came out on PlayStation 1, bro, maybe I wouldn't even be into Metal Gear.
I was going to say, mate, you might fundamentally be a different person.
I'd be a dickhead, is what would happen. I'd be there's a mirror universe of me who's just
who do we
a fucking
know
prick.
that is like a more of a Nintendo kind of guy?
There's a mirror reality where my life just went completely off the rails, all because my parents bought me the N64 instead of the PlayStation. Yeah, I was gutted really, because I wanted an N64, and that's the truth.
I see.
Mad, isn't it? It really is a mad fact that like choices like that can determine who you are.
Yeah.
It's mental, isn't it?
Like
Mental.
the difference between a Nintendo and a PlayStation has made you who you are. Fundamentally, right? It's affected your life in a big way.
Especially back then.
Wild.
Because I never would have had both. I've never had two consoles.
You never had a brother.
Yeah, as a kid.
Yeah, never.
I had a brother. We had everything.
Yeah, see, I never did. So it was always, I'd just ride or die whatever I had. And that was it. And so it was PlayStation all the way up, then PlayStation 2, and then, PS3 onwards, I was buying my own stuff. It's, yeah.
You had that paper round money.
I had that fucking...
Dollar bill, y'all.
I did. Yeah, wild. Absolutely wild. But there you go. So Phil, you've lost this today.
Does it matter about the roller coasters?
I still want to know, though.
Okay.
So give me your two.
Okay, so my truth or lie is that I've never been on a roller coaster. And the other option is that I've been on more than a few roller coasters.
What does more than a few mean?
It's
what
just
does
the finger in the arse one, but roller coasters.
How many? How many is a few?
3?
Yeah, 3 or more.
Then I've been on more than 3.
And less than several, because so few then leads into several. So, all right. But then more than a few, so it could be several. I know you don't like roller coasters. I know when we went to America together and we went to Universal, And me and Big Dog went on like Hulk. We went on kind of everything. And you were like, no, I'm all right. I'll just hold the bags. I just don't like them. So I imagine to be like, I don't like them, you would have had to have tried it, surely. That's my logic. So I'm going to go on, you've been on more than a few, and you realize you don't like them.
Okay. Same logic.
I'm going to say, mate, you've never been on one because so many people, myself included, will never try something because they don't like the thought or look of it and just say, I don't like it, it's not for me, having never tried it.
This is the finger in the bum.
Yeah, it is the finger in the bum, exactly right. Because everyone's like, no, I'm never doing that, but it might be God's gift. You never know. You might love roller coasters, but you don't know because you've never tried one. That's my logic.
I like the logic. I mean,
Nice.
I love roller coasters. I can't imagine if you haven't been on one. Do it. They're fucking class. I spent all weekend. My whole weekend was just at Alton Towers, running nothing but roller coasters. Class.
This is where this question's come from. You look like you had a great time.
It was brilliant. Loved it.
I would not have a great time at Alton Towers. I would not have a great time at Oakwood. I would not have a great time. I would in America. They're a little bit more than just roller coasters these days. But I don't like roller coasters. I really, really hate them. And I have actually been on a few roller coasters.
Yeah.
I've been on more than a few roller coasters, and I very much dislike them. I got forced on a bunch of roller coasters because I went with John Jody when I was their third wheel for a long time. We went to Disneyland. I went to Universal. I went on the Hulk. I went on the Dueling Dragons of Harry Potter. At Oakwood, I went on Megaphobia. At Alton Towers, I went on Nemesis, I think.
Yeah.
So there's more than a few. There's 4 roller coasters I can name off the rip. So yeah, I've been on more than a few roller coasters. Didn't like any of them.
Fair
Don't
enough.
like them. There's
least
a
you
limit
tried
of
them.
roller coasters. I quite like the runaway minecart. I would enjoy one of those.
Yeah. So
I don't really like a log flume,
Oh, you don't like a log flume?
I
but I
don't mind
quite
log
like
flume.
those ones that are like 3D.
Okay.
You ever been on the Spider-Man ride? I think you have.
I have.
You
I
like the
have.
cinema-
cinematic
Universal.
ones.
Really like those ones. They're really cool. There's a Transformers one, a Universal. Ace ride. Really,
You
really
got-
fun.
You got a couple of those in Alton Towers if you ever do end up going for whatever reason. So, you got Gangster Granny the ride, which is like that. It's a kids ride, but me and Karen did it. It's fun, and yeah, it's a few different ones like that. But at least you tried it, mate. You know, like I can't stand it when people say they don't
Unlike
like
Spencer
stuff.
with finger in the bum.
Yeah,
He hasn't tried it. So how
well,
do you know he don't like it?
Well, Spence never says I don't like it. He
No,
just
I
has never
always,
tried it.
I always say I've never tried it because I might love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I reckon I would love it.
that's the thing you take. It's like gay sex, isn't it? You know, it might be class. I might find out I'm actually like bi, but I don't really want to ever go down that lot. Well, I suppose to be fair, you'd know because you'd find men attractive, and I don't. So I suppose that would be a giveaway, wouldn't it? You know, if you found men attractive, you're like, oh, he's fucking. Actually, I do say, Henry Cavill's gorgeous.
He is gorgeous.
Let's end this, shall we?
Quick news. Let's move on to the topic.
Let's move it on to the topic, shall we?
Sure.
Let's do it. Stop! Topic time! And here we are with the topic, and today's topic is an absolute juicer. It's quite an old juicer, to be fair. It's like a juice which has been left in the press for a little while, but it's still nice to the taste. Like a cider press, if you will. You go out there, you press all those apples, you think, oh, in 9 months' time, that's going to be class. But while you're there, little taste on the finger on the apple, and it's still good. Class. Everyone's a winner. This is one of those times because we are talking about the Ghost of Yoti Direct, which happened 2 weeks ago, as of the date of recording. So, 2 weeks and a bit, actually. And this Direct was 20 minutes long, and it gave loads and loads of information. I'm not going to go through everything because there's absolutely stacks. I first off just want to know, have you guys seen it and what your thoughts are? So, Phil, I'm going to come to you first. Have you seen the Direct, and give me your top level thoughts?
Well, much like your cider that has been bubbling away in your garage, the Ghost of Yoti doesn't need extra sugar because it's sweet enough. This game absolutely blew me away when I watched the Direct. Now, as you guys know, I'm not the biggest Ghosts fan. I never played the first one. Will I play this one? I think I will. This game looks sick. It looks really, really good. And I cannot wait to discuss this further with you guys. I think this is a bit of a turn up for the books, really.
Hell yeah. I won't give away my thoughts, but hell yeah. Spence, what about yourself? Have you seen the Direct? What are your thoughts?
I haven't seen a Direct, but that's because, and I've said this in the past on the show, I know I'm going to love these games, Tsushima and Yotai. I know I am. I just haven't got around to playing them yet, and I don't want anything spoiled for me. That even includes like just how nice the game is to like quality of life. I don't want to know. So this is going to be quite hard a conversation for me to have. But
Spencer has left the chat.
yeah,
I will not listen to the podcast after editing.
Yeah, I'll try be involved, but who knows?
It's going to be quite hard to not spoil some things for you because there's quite a bit to talk about this. Phil, I know obviously you like you normally do a bit of prep, you do a bit of stats, stuff like that. Is it easy for me to just hand it over to yourself? Have you got some things that you want to go through first?
No, it's really, we're just going to go through my reactions based on the facts that you bring up. I didn't prep for this one as much as maybe I do with the start of the show, because this is out of my wheelhouse. I'm not the expert in the room. This isn't Death Stranding. As much as I'll try and flood this conversation with Death Stranding information.
Okay, right. Well, I'll lead the way on this then. I'll lead the charge. Ghost of Yotai is, of course, the sequel to Ghost of Tsushima, which came out in 2019, I believe, 2020 actually, I believe. And it's an unrelated sequel in the way that it's set hundreds of years later, and it's essentially a revenge story. So it's all around the fact that the main character's family are killed off by the Yotai Six, which is the snake, the Oni, the Kitsune, the spider, the dragon, and Lord Saito. And the whole purpose of what they've done for this is they focused on what worked last time in Ghost of Tsushima, where they've got beautiful vistas, the travel system is great, the combat system is really, really fun to be able to engage multiple enemies, and the way that you choose to interact with it, like I was saying when I was watching the direct, was that I would always get off my horse and have a samurai showdown to be honorable every single time I could, so that I could just stand up to them and be like, I'm here, come on out, send your best warriors and fight. Whereas you can just be a sneaky little bastard and just go around and take everyone out in a really kind of bitch way, but the way that the ninja would do it. They're very much leaning into what worked last time and bringing that all back in, but with several clever little improvements. The first, and I think this is the smallest of the improvements, although this seemed to get a massive pop online, is the ability to be able to change weapons in the middle of combat. And that seemed to have a massive pop. What did you think about that first, Phil?
Well, it was the variety of weapons as well. In the direct, you saw her switching between blades, multiple blades, really fucking long blades, and then like katanas. There was so many different options within this game, and I think that's what we're seeing now with this next generation of video games, is that we've done all the obvious things. We just need to turn that up to 11. We're just going to add layers upon layers upon layers of complexity to this combat, and we're going to give you as many options as we can just to give you variety throughout this process. And I really welcome that. It looked so varied. It didn't look like every fight is exactly the same. As you were talking, pretty much in the first game, you tried to force yourself down that route of always going down the same combat aspects. But I quite like the idea that I might see an enemy encampment and I might solid snake this one. I might creep round and come with the bow and arrow, come with the, flame grenades, or excuse me on the actual aspects of the weaponry there, if that's not in there, but they were definitely throwing like flame grenades. That's what it looked like anyway. But like, just the options there's so much to play with, and it got me really excited.
Yeah, I gotta admit, it was cool. And you're right, the weapons, and I'm going to butcher these because I don't speak Japanese, but it's the katana, the spear, kusarigami, I don't know that, the adachi, or dual swords. So it's basically like you have dual swords, which are cool as hell. You can have a samurai sword, you can have a giant samurai sword, or a spear. And those are the things. And what they were making clear is that different enemy types will need different tactics. So you're going to have to change weapons on the fly to be able to really get the most out of it. You're going to kind of have to, much in the same way that like God of War Ragnarok did that quite well, where you have like ice or fire enemies and you switch in between the two, and then some you use the spear for, and that kind of fluidity that came with that combat very much present here. And I didn't know I needed that, but now I've seen that, I can't go back to the original. Like it seems too simple now in the original. And the original combat system is superb anyway. the way the camera flows around that combat, and you're able to parry enemies just all the time with not a static kind of camera behind you at all times is amazing. And so now to have even more kind of complexity built into that is really, really good. Big things on this as well that they put in a nice quality of life, which is when you're bombing it on your horse, they've now made it so that the flowers, instead of just looking pretty, like act as boosts. So when you're going in and like going down a field, if you're like following like white flowers, which are all going up a mountainside, that will boost you the entire way up, which I just thought was cool. It's just a nice way to get around the environment. They showed the quick travel, which was great, and they showed camping. Now, I think this is the big thing here, and this is the thing that I was like wowed by, is that in most games, especially open world games, Ghost Tsushima was just like this for any other game that I've ever known for an open world game, in that you'll have different settlements that you go to, and there you'll find like your blacksmith, you'll find your armor guy, you'll find your like medic guy, all these things. And so I'd be out in the middle of a quest on Ghost Tsushima, going around, and I think I finally found that flower that I need to be able to craft my next piece of armor or whatever it is. I gotta remember where they are on the map, teleport to there, go and get my armor done, and then I can go back to where I was and kind of continue. In this, you make camp, and your guys that you meet along on your journey, like they showed this big group of supporting cast of characters, which all serve like different gameplay functions. They will just come and join you at your camp. So they will just like turn up out of nowhere. Like you'll be sitting there like playing like on your little instruments or whatever it is, just chilling by the fire with your wolf. And then next thing you know, your like fucking blacksmith will just turn up at your camp and he'll be like, hey, and they'll have a little conversation, a little bit of story will be told, and then you can trade there and then, save you having to go out somewhere. And they were all about making sure that the game comes to you. And that's what they were trying to cut down. They were trying to cut down the backtracking and all that shit, that the game will feel alive and it will just come to you and present itself. And that was the thing. I was like, fucking hell, what a great idea. I just haven't seen that be done before. And it's a small thing, but it's one of those things that you can imagine that when you play it, you can't imagine going back and having to go and teleport somewhere else, that it just constantly feels alive and that your people are supporting you who are supposed to be on this journey with you. And that was the thing that really stood out to me. I don't know if that was the same for yourself, Phil.
Yeah, it removes the need for sort of, I don't know, like hubs or different areas which you need to travel to. It just opens it up so it feels more like an open world where you can travel anywhere you want and kind of do whatever you want. It didn't feel like they were in any way forcing you down a certain path here, where at this level you would do this area, this level you would do that area. It seemed very open in the presentation that they put out, and go into those camps, and you know, sitting down and having that time to tell the story would be quite a nice break from the action, which we've just talked about, which seemed really, really super intense. So it's a nice balance to the game as well.
Yeah, exactly right. And it's one of those things, and I suppose this is something that you can come on now. Obviously, you're not really a massive fan of open world games. Do you think like having this thing where the game kind of comes to you would kind of cut down on that kind of open world fatigue that you seem to kind of have when you play these games?
I don't know, man. It sounds like a clever thing, but it kind of also just reminds me of, you know, like Clear Obscure, your things you need to upgrade and stuff are in your camp. So it seems similar to that. It just makes it easier, I suppose. You never have to remember anything. It's nice. That's a good quality of life thing. But I don't know if it fixes open world for me, because I don't think that was ever my issue with it. But I don't know. I think just open world games on a whole aren't really for me, unless they're special, like, say, Clear Obscure. But, you know.
Yeah, I get you. I think for me, it's just one of those things that I do this quite often when I'm going off the beaten path and I'm following a quest through and I want to see it through, but I know now from what I've done and what I've gathered along the way and things that I've been distracted by, especially in Ghost of Tsushima, I found I got distracted quite easily, in a good way. You know, like you'll go and the world felt very much alive in that you're going back on horseback, and you'll see a group of birds. And, if you follow those birds, they'll take you to a shrine. Or if you see a fox and you follow that fox, it will take you to something else. And there's all these things that I was like I'd be thinking, right, I'm going to go A to B. And then instead of that, I'll be going to C and to D and to like kind of everywhere else and doing that. And whereas then I might think to myself, Christ, I've done so much. I'm supposed to go here, but now I'm going to have to go all the way back to somewhere else because I've got these upgrades that I didn't know I even wanted. It just kind of cuts that bit out so I can still feel like I'm constantly progressing and constantly moving forward rather than kind of hitting a stop and a reset and going back somewhere to then kind of retrace my steps. And I think it's just a really clever solution to a problem I didn't even know I had, and that's why I think I really vibe with it so much. But speaking of vibes, there's some crazy cool things in this. So they're saying that when it comes to tackling the enemies, that you'll kill like a captain or something, and you can then choose to like interrogate them in the world to learn more information about the different enemies that you're going to be fighting. So you could learn more about, you could get captain, you could just kill him right there and then when he surrenders, or you can interrogate him to find out more information about like the Yoti 6. And I thought that was a really cool little way that you can gain some information about like the local area all around the main guys that you're actually on the hunt for to kill.
Didn't they do something like that in, was it Shadows of Mordor? I never played that game, but there was some sort of interrogation when you went up against like an orc leader, and you could find further information about, the area or, what other foes were local to them and things like that.
I think it more reminds me of, in Metal Gear Solid 5, I think it's 5, but no,
Sure.
no, this will make sense. But like, in that game, you can put someone up at gunpoint, and just like the other games, you can shake them to get ammo or whatever. But you could get them. I think it's in Metal Gear Solid 3, actually. I think it might have originated there, where you can pin them down and put the knife to their neck, and you'll be like, speak, and they'll be like, oh, if you go at night time, the guards don't look at this area, and then you're like, and kill him, and then you're like, oh, this is cool, right? Yeah. And it reminded me of that. But you're right. Like Shadow of Mordor, I think has that thing where you can learn more about your enemies, but you can also then like bring them onto your team as well.
Yeah, you can.
And that was the whole thing with that, and like the Nemesis system, where if somebody survives from that, they'll remember you and they'll level up, and
they'll come back to find you. That was so sick.
Yeah. So great little system that was in Nemesis. But yeah, it did give me those kind of vibes. And I think that's what a lot of this game's done, is that it's taken things from other games that worked really well. Like it's got the same kind of spyglass system as like Breath of the Wild, where you see somewhere, you can then pin it, and it works. I mean, there's nothing too fantastical about that. I think that's just a feature that Breath of the Wild did, and it's been copied everywhere for good reason. It works really, really well. But I just think for me, it felt like a natural evolution of Ghost of Tsushima, but not in the ways that I thought it would be. It's like they've taken it to, like, the spyglass stuff. I can expect that. I expect it to be like a more living, breathing open world, however they deliver that. But I just didn't expect these subtle changes, or so sometimes not so subtle changes to like combat and to exploration, which present it all in a new light. And I think that's what I was most impressed by, let alone the visuals. I think the visuals were absolutely stunning. I mean, how did the vistas and the horseback riding and all that sit with yourself, Phil? Visually, what did you think about it?
Again, I was blown away by it. And I think that was one of the biggest attractions, really, going into this direct, because games have just got to a point now, they have started to look so damn good. And I'm just imagining this on my Pro. It's just going to sing, isn't it? This is the reason I paid that extra $1, to get that extra inch, to get that extra, step forward in graphical fidelity. And I need the games to be able to show that off. Death Stranding is doing it well at the moment, but this game looks to be on that level, if not slightly higher.
It looks absolutely just breathtaking. When the direct kind of opens and they got like the mountain in the background, and it was just like a whole like just field full of flowers and trees and stuff, and you just thought, fucking hell, like this is wild. And Ghost of Tsushima, when you guys go back and if you do play it, that game, the PS5 remaster of that looks fucking incredible. Like it looks so good, it's so beautiful, and the music's so good. And what I liked is for those, this isn't for me, certainly not for me, but I know there are people that like this. In the original Ghost of Tsushima, they had like a samurai mode, so you can make it look like an old samurai movie. In this, they've doubled down on that even more. And they've collaborated with a load of different people so that you can have different musical scores. They got a lo-fi mix in there, if I'm remembering right, which sounds sick. Like they were exploring around this like these lo-fi kind of beats built in. And I was like, this is cool. This is nice to just be able to go around, kind of have like horseback radio, essentially, as you're like going around and listen to like these fucking cool ass lo-fi beats. But they have like all these different modes that you can put it in to make it look like older samurai movies. And there's loads of different filters you can put on, let alone the fact now that you can have it in full Japanese voice acting with full lip syncing to Japanese, which I thought was brilliant because like the original had Japanese audio you could put on, but the lip syncing was English. So because that's how it was filmed. So it just didn't quite mash. Whereas now I think I might play this all in Japanese with full Japanese voice acting because it sounded cool as hell when they were like, oh, cool as a guy, and like, you know, pulling a sword out and whatever. I was like, oh, this is getting me. I know I'm in Japan now, you know? And so I thought that was a really cool little impressive feature for those that want that, you know?
As much as I've done, how many years of Duolingo now with Japanese? And I've been to Japan. I ain't playing it on Japanese. You gotta be crazy to be playing this game in Japanese if you're English. That's such a weeby thing to do.
I think I would, mate. I think I'd play it in Japanese.
Terrible. You wouldn't know what's going on, boys.
Subtitles exist, bro. Subtitles exist, bro.
It'd be much better in English.
I disagree. I think
bet you
like
watch
Japanese.
Dragon Ball Z in Japanese, don't you?
I do.
I don't. I like English, but I watch most of my anime. I watch most of my anime in Japanese. To be fair.
Tell you what, I think that quality of life thing, the lip syncing, that's really nice because a lot of games, even nowadays, the lip syncing is still off on loads of them. Clear Obscure had a few lip sync issues. Well, quite a lot actually the whole time. And I was obviously decades old game, but MGS2. Well, I was watching that. There's sometimes the characters speak, their mouth just doesn't even move. And I was just like, obviously ages ago, you can forgive that. But a lot of games do struggle with that. So the fact they've done that for 2 languages is actually sick. And I'm with you. I'd play it in Japanese, I think.
I think it would just be cool. I think like it would just like kind of ground you in it a little bit more is my thought. And it might be that I might do a little bit in Japanese and then go back to English and then think and kind of figure out which one I prefer. But I
just
do
like the hard modes in Doom. You just have to, lower it.
Let's see what happens.
You can adjust things on the fly these days.
Exactly right. And I think just having that option there is cool because there's some people that are like massive fans of Japanese cinema, specifically when it comes to like samurai movies and stuff. And like these directors and stuff, like 13 Assassins I've seen before, but I didn't know Takashi Miike or Watanabe Mode, which are the 2 different kind of directors and from like Japanese samurai cinema. They don't mean anything to me, but there's people out there that would resonate with that a lot and I would really like it and show that they've just got like reverence for the genre, that they've added those into the game to just give something back to the fans is cool. And I really like that. I really like having these little things that probably didn't take too much to implement, but just mean a lot. It's the same way that, when we're talking about like accessibility, when it came to like when The Last of Us 2 did it really, really well, and they just had all those extra modes that we would never ever touch, right? Like people who have like who are colorblind or people that have like sight impaired or whatever it is, and they put all those extra things in. It became like a standard going forward. I like they've just done that for people that are fans of Japanese cinema and samurai movies. They just thought, we'll add it in. It's not like a freebie down the road they put in 2 years later on fucking Yoti Day. It's just they just put it in.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I think it's just cool. I think it's just all these little things. And I mean, I was sold on this day one. I'm definitely pre-ordering this. I'm definitely getting this under my fucking basket straight away. So by the sounds of it then, Phil, this has sold you on the game.
Yeah, just looking at the release date. What are we saying for
October?
It's got to be soon, hasn't it?
October, I think.
October 2nd.
October 2nd, yeah.
Is the release date. So, I've got a fair few games to get through, but I think this really looks like a special game. And to come, as a first-party game with PlayStation, it's going to look absolutely beautiful on our hardware.
Yeah. I think
I'm sold. I really am. As long as I'm finished, I've got a gap. I don't think this is the type of game where I'd want to like wait and play later because I'll never get round to it. I need to play it in October when it launches.
yeah,
For sure.
yeah, I'm right there. I mean, like, this is the thing for me. I've got Death Stranding to get through. I think when we're talking about the best games of this year, right? The conversation, obviously can't talk about DK. I think that's definitely going to be there. This is shaping up to be a game that's going to be in that conversation. And I don't want to miss that. I came to go serve Tsushima late. I came to it a number of years later. And did I miss anything from that? No, not really. But it would have certainly, I don't think it would have had too much impact on the Game of the Year conversation at the time because it was Last of Us 2. So, I mean, that it wasn't as good as that. But it would have been in contention, right? And like a lot of people, I think it won Player's Choice that year, which goes to Tsushima.
It did, yeah.
I need to play this. I need to play a Sucker Punch fucking cooked on the last game and everything showing that they're dialing it up to 11. Oh, this, yeah, it looks fucking really good. Spence, I'd highly recommend you watch this.
Mate, I didn't want to watch it anyway because I'm excited, but now I'm so excited that I kind of have to watch it just because the Phil recommendation. Phil, mate, you wanting the hop on this day one, that screams that this game looked great. So I have to watch this now, I think. So maybe I'll be doing that tonight, and maybe I'll talk about it next episode. I definitely won't, by the way. But maybe I'll watch this.
Good stuff.
That's what a good trailer does, mate. And, you know, it's gone out there to change minds, hasn't it? And it's changed my mind 100%. Like, Davey was in anyway, even before seeing this. But releasing something like this, because I was on the fence with it, it's changed my mind 100%. I'm in. I'm just going to play this. I'm not going to go back. I'm not going to make the mistakes Davey's done with Death Stranding and spend all my time in the original Ghost game. I'm going to just jump in with this one. As it's an unrelated story, I don't think it matters.
I don't think it does. I think you're perfectly suited, and that's the benefit from this, is that you can just start here. And sure, they might make references. There might be like a legend of a ghost or something like that. They make reference to, but this is hundreds of years later. It's not going to be something that
It'd be a side quest.
Yeah, it's not going to be anything.
I think the only issue with doing that, because I would do that as well, but I think starting with Yoti will make ghosts harder to play. It's like playing Spider-Man 2 with the web wings and then going back to Spider-Man 1 without them. I feel like the quality of life fixes and all the nice changes would make Ghost of Tsushima just a bit harder to play than if you hadn't played Yoti first.
Probably.
Well, just don't bother.
But yeah,
if you love Yoti,
got too much on my plate anyway.
What if you adore Yoti and you're like, I need to play Tsushima now, and then that dampens your Tsushima experience?
It may well do. I think it's just a thing of time's the big thing for us now, right? Like, we're at that point in life where we don't have unlimited time. We got to pick our experiences. And is it to the point where you won't play either of them because you'll have to play the old one first, and that's like 70 hours. So you just got to pick your poison. And here, where they're giving you a clean slate to be able to jump in on this, just take the fucking clean slate, and ignorance is bliss, right? Like, and ultimately, like, even going back, right, like we were saying how good Ragnarok, and 2018 isn't as good. 2018 still slaps. Like, it's still a great game. It's just not as good as Ragnarok, right? And like, you'll miss those things, but after several hours deep into an experience, you won't think about those again because you just realize that's what that game offers.
True. Fair enough.
But yeah, each their own. Audience, I'll be shocked if you're not on the hype train, because everything was universal praise for Ghost of Yoti. But if you have different thoughts or you want to add any more to the conversation, then feel free to write into the email pswetrust@gmail.com or hit us up on any of the socials, which are all listed below. And that brings episode 118 to a close. It's been a pleasure to have you all with us. Thank you to all the new listeners that are tuning into the podcast lately. We really do appreciate all of you. If you haven't, then please feel free to put a like on the video. If you watch on YouTube, then hi. Subscribe to the channel. If you're listening on podcast services, Apple, Spotify, Good Pods, wherever it is, then just make sure to put a follow on the podcast and put us a rating. 5 stars is what we're going for. We hope we delivered that for you today. Being very, very nice to you today, not calling any of you cunts.
That's crazy.
Up until that point, they were doing it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, not calling any of you dickheads, nothing like that. Do what you want to do, but I hope you support the podcast. And that has been it. So I've been Davey.
I've been Phil.
And I've been Spencer.
Take care, guys.
In PS We Trust is hosted by Davey, Phil, and Spencer. You can write into the show via our email, pswetrust@gmail.com. Our Twitter is @InPSWeTrust. To find each of us online, follow our Twitters, @SSJDavey, @PhilipHoy, @SpenPie_. Thank you for listening. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other. See ya.